Week 4 of the high school football season brings us to Skip Bachman Stadium as the 2-1 Shawnee Indians come to town to clash with the 2-1 St. Mary's Roughriders. Coming up next on Game Face Ohio.
TSC can save you money.
How?
TSC can save you money with Emerge.
What's Emerge?
The Emerge bundle plan. TSC will merge your phone, cable TV, and internet into one nice, neat package to save you money.
How much money?
A boatload. The Emerge bundle plan, only from TSC.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler with tools like person-to-person payments, Pop Money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Owen Kitchen and Bath Showroom has been family owned and operated since 1990. We can help you from start to finish with your entire project. Let one of our professional designers put the final touches on your project. Owen Kitchen and Bath now has 2 showrooms to better serve you in Wapakoneta and Lima. Owen Kitchen and Bath, cabinetry that will take your breath away at prices that won't.
Hello, Frost Roofing.
Frost Roofing holds the same core values our company was founded upon nearly 9 decades ago. We proudly provide quality craftsmanship and top-notch service to each client we serve. We're licensed by several major roofing manufacturers to give you the right recommendations at the best value for your investment. With state-of-the-art equipment, cutting-edge technology, and our honest way of doing business, Frost Roofing is our area's preferred commercial roofing experts. To learn more, visit frost-roofing.com or call 419-739-ROOF.
Welcome everybody to St. Mary's, Ohio, as we're in Week 4 in the Western Buckeye League. Eli Alvarez and Paul Sadler alongside you, and we welcome you into the Minster Bank pregame show. St. Mary's, Ohio, the location for this game. Eli Alvarez, Paul Sadler. Paul, we've got 2 teams, even records going into this Week 4 matchup at 2-1.
Yes, and coming off of last week, Shawnee dropped their first game of the year to Wapakoneta, and St. Mary's won their second game in a row, so they are actually 2-0 at the top of the WBL, tied with the Elida coming into this game.
And the Shawnee Indians, we talked about 2-1, 1-1 in the WBL, and they've got a lot to prove against the tough St. Mary's team tonight.
They did, but they won their first 2 games of the season in impressive fashion with victories over Delphus Jefferson and Defiance. But versus Walpock last week, the Indians missed some early opportunities, and Walpock's pressure disrupted the Shawnee offensive attack, led by junior quarterback Johnny Caprella. Coach Frank Crier has to focus on improving their pass protection and route execution during this week of practice to prepare for this game, because Shawnee still has one of the most explosive offenses in the WBL, and the defense leads the WBL in least points given up.
Peyton Wilson, the player to watch for the Indians tonight, the sophomore at 5'10", 170 pounds.
Yes, and he is part of a dangerous receiving corps, which includes a trio of seniors, Javion Daniels, Grant Wheeler, and Christian Ford, for a total of 4 players that have 7 to 8 catches that can take it to the house on any play. He's also was credited with 22 tackles last week against Walpock to strengthen his status as the leading tackler in the Western Buckeye League.
And as you mentioned, Paul, the Roughriders come in off of 2 games in a row where they picked up big victories against WBL opponents.
Yes, and not surprisingly, the Riders entered the game with the WBL's top-ranked rushing offense, averaging over 315 yards per game, and are second in the league, averaging 34 points a game. However, the Rider defense is uncharacteristically giving up 28 points a game and currently ranked 9th in the WBL versus the pass. And Coach Doug Fry and defensive coordinator Nick Yale are looking for improvement out of their defense, because it won't get easier tonight with the passing strength of the Indians.
And Bo Kenning is our player to watch for the Roughriders tonight.
Yeah, the big senior is a 4-year letterman. He's a strong, hard-working young man, starter at defensive end, and he is charged with getting pressure on Johnny Caprella. Last week he had 4 touchdowns, all from inside the 5-yard line, and he is one of the 5 players expected to get a lot of carries tonight.
And that'll do it for the Minster Bank pregame show. Shawnee won the toss, and they will receive to start the first half when we come back here on Game Face Ohio.
At this time, we'd like to...
Where is that TSC bill? How can I pay it if I can't find it?
You don't need the bill. You can pay it online at telcirco.com.
Wasn't there a special this month?
Yes, we got it from TSC's Facebook page.
I know I've got the announcement for the club here somewhere.
I just sent it to TSC to air on Channel 2. With telcirco.com, Facebook, Channel 2, and their newsletter, TSC makes it easy to stay connected.
Now, if they could just help me clean up my desk.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Stars and Stripes Graphics is your local screen printer located just east of the St. Mary's Memorial High School. Visit our showroom for all things Rough Rider, including jackets, sweatshirts, hats, sweatpants, ball caps, and more. We also carry items for New Knoxville Rangers and select collegiate gear for Ohio State and Michigan. Stars and Stripes Graphics, your local screen printer.
Dr. Compton has been delivering quality chiropractic care for nearly 20 years. He's committed to helping you find relief as quick as possible so there's no lengthy care plans. At Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, most insurances are accepted and walk-ins are always welcome. Conveniently located in downtown St. Mary's across from Chase Bank. To learn more, visit us online at smpainrelief.com and follow us on social media.
It's the name that you want to remember. Neck and Back Pain Relief Center.
Back here for this Week 4 matchup between the Roughriders and the Indians. Let's take a look at our keys to the game. We'll start first with the visiting Shawnee Indians, Paul.
And really the first key that's going to be against any St. Mary's opponent is to stop this potent running attack of the Roughriders. They also need to protect their quarterback and sustain drives. Last week they had a lot of negative plays, including a minus 52 yards by the quarterback because of sacks. And they got to take advantage of their opportunities. Last week against Walpock, they had some early opportunities and missed out on maybe taking a bigger lead than they did.
Now we'll take a look at the keys of the game for the guys out there in the gold and blue.
They need to pressure Johnny Caprella and try to make him either get rid of the ball quicker than he likes, or try to make it a little bit tougher to get in his comfort zone. They need to limit big plays. Against Van Wert last week, they gave up 34 points in a 50-34 victory, but they did give up some long passes and also a kick return versus Van Wert. And they need to use their multiple weapons on offense. As mentioned, they had 5 players last week versus Van Wert have 70-plus yards, so there's a lot of weapons for Coach Doug Fry to choose from on offense.
Well, we're about to kick things underway here in this Week 4 contest between the Indians and the Roughriders. Our first trip here on Game Face Ohio to Skip Bachman Stadium, as the Roughriders were able to defeat the Cougars last week, we mentioned in the pregame, and they're looking to go 3-0 in the Western Buckeye League this year after their only loss coming to Sydney in the non-conference the first week of the season. And this is a Shawnee team we saw last week against Walpock, Paul, that they've got a lot of promise on offense, and the defensive end just needs a little bit of work.
Well, they can be pretty good at both of them. They just need to be able to get used to competing against the top teams in the league.
And Vanderveer will kick it off for the Roughriders. It's going to be fielded at around the 10-yard line. Here comes the speedy Christian Ford up the near sideline, trying to make some moves, and he's going to be tackled around the 25, and that's where Johnny Caprella and his offense will start off.
And Johnny Caprella, he's still second in the league in touchdown passes and in yards, but he had kind of a tough, especially last 3 quarters last week. But he still is having an excellent year, and it's going to be a big reason why Shawnee is so much improved this year. Again, a flock of talented receivers there with Wheeler, Ford, Sargent, and a player to watch, Peyton Wilson.
Caprella comes out. No touchdown passes in the loss to Walpock last week. Grant Wheeler with the only touchdown of the game. It was a 2-yard run, and he's going to start off, Caprella is, with a run, getting him up to the 30-yard line.
And Caprella can run. He had, as we got a player down, looks like a lineman back there. But he was tackled by Austin Giesige, who was the first team all-league linebacker last year for St. Mary's, but he has been moved to defensive tackle for this week to try to match up with the athletic spread attack of Shawnee. As we can see here with their starters, Giesige at tackle to give a really strong front line with Kenning and Aller.
And it looks like the injured Indian down on the field might be the right tackle, Jeff Hunt, sophomore. A lot of sophomores on this roster for the Indians that get a lot of significant playing time, so he is a definite big factor if that is him down, and we'll see what the problem is with him, but the training staff looking at him as he's being helped up to his feet.
Yeah, luckily he's up already, so
it'll bring up a 2nd down and 7 for the Shawnee offense here on their first drive of the game. We saw them execute a lot of good drives against Walpock last week, but they weren't able to finish them off as much as they would have liked to. As Caprella will hand this one off to Wheeler, and Wheeler with a nice run will get the first down and move the chains.
And you know, Shawnee doesn't have the running stats to back it up, but when we did their game last week against Walpock, we really felt that they did run the ball fairly well at times, and their numbers just get skewed because they did have sacks, which count negatively towards the rushing attack, but I believe that they are a capable running team.
Caprella's going to roll out, looking to pass, overthrows Wheeler, and it falls incomplete, but Ty Howell was lurking back there, possibly come up with the interception, but the Indians get lucky.
And a good sign, we see Jeff Hunt jogging back onto the field.
And talking about the rushing game for the Indians, they average 72 yards per game, but you brought up the fact of Caprella being sacked so many times. Going into last week, he had over 100 yards rushing. This week, he only has 56 because of all the sacks that he had against that Walpock defense. As Caprella will keep it this time, did a good job of holding on to it as long as possible, but it doesn't fool the defense as they stop him for a loss.
Yeah, and there's our player to watch, Bo Kenning, able to make the tackle on that cutback attempt by Caprella, and this is going to bring up a 3rd and long.
So we'll see what the Indians call here on this 3rd and long, as the officials are going to stop play because it looks like Mr. Kenning out there has to fix a strap on one of his braces.
So with the incomplete pass and then the loss on the play, this brings up a 3rd and really long, and that's kind of the bad part of being perimeter based at times. From an offensive standpoint, is sometimes you do get in that 3rd and long. However, Shawnee does have the weapons to be able to pick up large chunks of yardage when needed.
Caprella is averaging about 260 yards per game throwing the ball, 781 total through 3 games, but again, that average went down quite a bit after last week in that tough Walpock defense.
And you see that Bo Kenning was forced to go off the field, and Trey Fisher takes his place.
Caprella in trouble. He's going to dump it off to Daniels, and he stumbles and steps out of bounds way short of the first down, and so that's going to force the hand of the Indians to punt this one away.
Yeah, a little bit of missed opportunity there. Daniels had a little bit of space, but couldn't really just find his footing to be able to make enough guys miss to pick up the first down. So accidentally stepped out of bounds. So after 1 first down, the Shawnee punting team is on the field.
Now remember, Paul, the first time that they brought out the punting unit last week against Walpock, it was a fake. This one would be a little bit more risky if they decide to do so, and Caprella will just punt it away. He's 2nd in the Western Buckeye League in average punt yards, as this one's just going to die around the 25, and that's where St. Mary's will take over on offense.
And there is a flag on the play. Going to call a sideline warning on the St. Mary's Roughriders. Again, that's just a warning. Next time they could be given an unsportsmanlike conduct of 15 yards. So now we're going to get our first look at the St. Mary's Roughrider offense. As mentioned, they are averaging 34 points a game and are the top rushing attack in the Western Buckeye League. Senior Colin Clements is the starting quarterback. He actually is not asked to pass a lot, so only has 13 attempts through 3 games so far, but he does lead the Western Buckeye League in quarterback rating.
So scoreless on that first drive. The Indians, 35-yard punt for Caprella. And we'll start off with a run play, surprise, surprise for the Roughriders.
And that was Shannon Fowler. Shannon Fowler is actually the second leading rusher on this team currently, 7th in the Western Buckeye League. And we're going to see him, Sean Perry, the leading rusher, Braden Dunlap, probably their big play guy. You're going to see Ty Schlosser, the sophomore, and Bo Kenning are kind of going to be the 5 ball handlers that we're going to see. And there's a big offensive line there in front of them as well.
So Clements will break the huddle quickly. And it'll be another handoff. This one again, the Shawnee defense does well to stop it.
And I believe that was Jacob Cohen that came up and able to make the play. And that's going to leave a 3rd and about 6 here for the Roughriders. Couldn't quite get that trap going as much as they would like.
Shawnee defense that gives up about 213 yards rushing per game. They've given up 640 in all on 128 attempts by their opponents this year. And this will be Perry, the runner, as he tries to break it outside. But again, tough defense by the Indians, and they're going to force a punt early on this first possession for St. Mary's.
Yeah, Jacob Voorhees comes up from his corner route, as well as Jacob Cohen able to get the 3 and out to start off with. And you know, sometimes, especially early in the season, your stats kind of against the run or pass get skewed by who you play. You know, you play a running team, you're probably going to give up more yards than, you know, if you play a passing team, and give up more passing yards against them.
Fisher punts it. It's a short one. It's going to give him a nice roll, and it will go out of bounds at around the 45.
So we've seen both defenses kind of come through and get a stop after a 3 and out this time for Shawnee, and now the Indian offense comes out for the second time.
Well, this is a St. Mary's team that has only given up 8 points in total in the first quarter to their opponents through their first 3 games. And if you look back at last week's game against Van Wert, it was a very low-scoring affair through the first quarter. And, of course, St. Mary's turned on the gears and ended up scoring 50 on the Cougars last week. So nothing to worry about yet if you're a Roughriders fan. Here's a nice run for Wheeler as he gets it across the 50.
And again, I like the play calling of coming out and running some traditional runs on first down. Grant Wheeler's averaging about 5 yards carry, but he only had 12 rushes coming in.
So after the 7-yard run for Grant Wheeler, it'll set up a 2nd and 3. Caprella will hand it off to Daniels. Daniels working hard to get something going, only about 1 or 2.
And there was a blitz coming on that time that was kind of slowed that down, and Keegan Sawmiller there to make the play for the Roughriders. But by having the successful first down run and just a little bit of a gain there, it's a very manageable 3rd and 2 for the Shawnee Indians.
Opponents this year against the St. Mary's defense, 13 of 31 on 3rd down conversions at about 42%. As Caprella will keep it himself. He's going to try to get the first down, and he will, as he gets it across.
So 3 straight runs for the Shawnee Indians, and kind of a different approach this week against the Roughriders than we saw last week against Walpock, where they came out firing, passing the ball. This time, through the first 8 plays, 6 have been called runs.
Caprella once again will be in the shotgun as he will look to go out into the flats to Wheeler. Nice block by Daniels to set Wheeler free, and he'll hop along close to the first down.
So while that's definitely a pass play, it kind of is almost like a long handoff, some people will say. It's a very high percentage play, and as you mentioned, Daniels was on his horse to get out there and make that kick out block. But, you know, something that being in a spread does, you know, it doesn't make it, you know, easier to pass at times. It spreads the defense out because they have to cover more of the field, and sometimes that opens more running lanes.
Daniels will get it down close to the chains once again, but it'll bring up another 3rd down.
And so it's going to be another 3rd and 2, identical situation they just picked up, and they had Caprella call his own number.
Don't be surprised if you see the quarterback and Caprella keep it once again, but he's got 2 of his favorite targets in Wheeler and Daniels next to him. as he will keep it. It was a high snap. St. Mary's defense gets in the backfield, but they don't stop him as he lunges forward for the first down.
I'll tell you what, that was a great individual effort by Johnny Caprella. The timing was off on that play because of the snap right away, and then he saw he was dead to rights right there on the outside, made a play, and was able to pick up the first down.
So a nice drive here for the Indians. As Caprella will roll out once again, looking to throw. He stumbles, breaks the tackle. Now he's got some room to run. He'll throw it away, and it's caught by Peyton Wilson for the first down.
I'll tell you what, that play really had no business on working at all for the Shawnee Indians, but you just got to credit the athleticism, first of all, Caprella, to be able to not get tackled for a loss, but then Wilson with a tremendous one-handed grab to be able to haul that in, and the Shawnee Indians have an impressive-looking drive going on.
13 yards on the pass play. This time it'll be a run to Wheeler, and he's going to be stuffed at around the line of scrimmage.
At that time, the Roughriders are very solid on first down.
And Paul, one thing we talked about going into last week's matchup for Shawnee was the confidence they had being 2-0 against a struggling Walpock team. And you saw Walpock's defense bend but not break early in that game. St. Mary's faithful hoping their defense will do the same here. As Caprella throws it out into the flats once again to Wheeler. Got some room to run, and he's tripped up close to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, Wheeler pretty fortunate that you had Sean Perry on a kill shot, able to just sidestep him to take a negative play into a reasonably positive play. This is going to bring up, yes, another third down, but we're going to say probably about 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4.
Opponents in the red zone this year against the St. Mary's defense have scored 9 out of the 10 times they've gotten into it. And now we've got a flag because it looks like Jackson Harris, the linebacker, jumped off sides.
Yeah, remember Jackson Harris made the big play against Ottawa Glandorf 2 weeks ago on that 2-point conversion where he knocked it down, but in this case, he got a little bit too aggressive in trying to time up his blitz, and not only is that going to be an extra 5 yards, it's going to be now a first down and goal just inside the 10-yard line.
So with that fresh set of downs, Caprella and his offense, we'll see what they draw up here with Daniels in the backfield. There will be another throw as Caprella looking to improvise. He finds Daniels, a lot of room to run. He dives forward, and he's into the end zone. There's the first points of the game. It goes to the Shawnee Indians.
Yeah, and that almost looked like it was a screen pass because the offensive line let the Roughriders go upfield, and then they went downfield to be able to get the extra blocks for Daniels. That's his first receiving touchdown of the year, and Caprella's 9th passing touchdown of the year, and the first score of the game goes to the Indians.
The sophomore Jacob Voorhees out to attempt the PAT for the Indians. He's 12 of 13 on the year. Once again, nice drive by the offense for the Indians. PAT on its way, and that one is good. So it's 7-0. Shawnee on top against the Roughriders here at Skip Bachman Stadium in Week 4.
Hello?
Call dropped?
Hello?
No more minutes? Lost your phone? Don't worry. Telephone service from TSC is always crystal clear. Never runs out of minutes. Never has a dead battery. And most importantly, in an emergency, it displays your address for 911. Plus, TSC keeps you connected with free calling in our expanded calling area. Ask about telephone service from TSC today.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
IC Signs designs, creates, and installs custom eye-catching signs. We use state-of-the-art technology to produce indoor and outdoor signs, LED message boards, and vehicle wraps. We can also help you with LED light conversion, sign refurbishing, custom t-shirts, promotional items, and your print needs. Whether you know what you want or have no idea, trust the experience of IC Signs. Call IC Signs at 419-738-6640.
Strength is about so much more than the body. It's about being together, serving, sharing, and caring for those around us. It's about keeping score in the heart rather than on a scoreboard. Be a part of a community that builds more than your body. At the Wapakoneta Family YMCA.
Back here at Skip Bachman Stadium, so it's a 10-play, 56-yard drive capped off by a 9-yard reception from Javion Daniels, and the Roughriders will have their crack at it after the kickoff.
And I tell you what, the last 2 weeks, the Roughriders have 2 touchdown returns on kickoff, so you have to watch out for them. Sean Perry had an 87-yard kickoff return last week against Van Wert, and Braden Dunlap had a 91-yard return against OG 2 weeks ago.
And Voorhees will kick it close to the sideline, and it does go out of bounds. So good field position for St. Mary's as they start their second drive of the ball game.
You know what? If you got guys that can potentially score touchdowns, though, maybe kicking it out of bounds is not a bad option.
Very good point.
There is a flag on the play, so.
That flag on the play, again, brought to you by Stars and Stripes Graphics.
And I tell you what, this flag actually looks like it's going to be enforced as a re-kick with a 5-yard, which I always like. If you feel that you got guys that can return the ball really well, you know, well, the 35-yard line, we can do better than that. Kick it to us again.
Very good idea, as that's exactly what they'll be doing. As the Shawnee faithful, again, this is where they were last week against Walpock. They scored the first touchdown of the game, and then the Redskins put up 28 straight on them.
But you know what? Shawnee looked pretty sharp that drive.
They did.
You know, they ran the ball first, and then they mixed in the pass along with it, and they can be really dangerous offensively, especially if you're not sure what's coming.
So they'll re-kick it as, again, the explosive returners of Perry and Dunlap back for the Roughriders.
And Ty Howell is back there as well.
Another short kick to the sideline, and this one's going to be fielded around the 30-yard line by Wyatt Barhorst, and he's going to come up to about the 35, and basically we're right back where we started.
Yeah, but you know, it's definitely in the game plan. It looks like they did not want to kick it deep to one of those game breakers. They wanted one of the upbacks to be able to have to return. So a good field position for the Roughriders, but they still have quite a ways to go if they want to make it to the end zone.
So Colin Clements coming out with 3 touchdowns to his name in the passing game so far this season. And he's going to hand it off to Perry as he gets forward to around the 45. He'll be stopped just a little bit short of it.
Yeah, and that's just a base play in the wing tee, just a straight dive play. And Sean Perry hits it as fast as anybody here in the Western Buckeye League. He has that nice little sidestep that he was able to turn that from a 2-yard gain into about a 6-yard gain.
Perry's longest run this year is a 30-yarder as he has 2 touchdowns to his name. This time they'll hand it off once again, and this one goes to Shannon Fowler.
And that's going to be enough for a first down. That time, Hassan Williams is able to make the play, but not before first down yardage was made.
So 60 first downs for the Roughriders coming into this contest. Pick up another one right there.
You see, the Shawnee's base defense is only usually a 3-man front, but obviously when people play St. Mary's, you know, they stack that defensive line.
As Clements will hand it off to Bo Kenning. He's going to punch forward to around the 49, but a late flag coming in on the far side.
Okay.
And looks like you're going to get a face mask penalty going against the defense. But we'll wait for the official call.
So Shawnee came into the game about middle of the pack in terms of penalties and penalty yardage. They ranked 5th in the Western Buckeye League. Conversely, the Roughriders usually you consider, you know, with low in penalties, they're actually 9th in the Western Buckeye League in penalty yardage.
That's 21 penalties for the Indians on 155 yards coming in.
So as I was trying to mention before, I think we had some technical difficulties that have been fixed. But you can see right here, instead of just having 3 men, you got 6 men, and then actually a couple blitzers as well at linebacker.
Here goes Braden Dunlap up the near sideline. He's got the first down and much more as he's pushed out just past the 30.
And Dunlap doesn't get a ton of touches. That's only his 17th rush of the year, but he's a big play gamer when he gets the ball, averaging over 10.5 yards a carry. He's also a threat to catch the ball, their leading receiver in terms of yardage, and he'll even pass the ball sometimes when he gets out there, Eli.
So after the 16-yard run from Dunlap, it sets up a first down, and this is the St. Mary's team coming in, had 84 plays on first down, averaging close to 6 yards per play on first down, so they can usually move it. This time, not so much.
At that time, running the trap, Fowler kind of went into some traffic of his own team's doing, but was able to get to the outside to get a couple yards.
So they're knocking now on the doorstep of the red zone with this 2nd and 8. And Paul, we talked about the matchup last week against Van Wert, putting up 50 points, and that's a big number no matter what kind of offense you run. But this is an explosive offense, as we're seeing here. Perry breaks the tackle, breaks another. He's down to the goal line, and he's going to be stopped at around the 5-yard line.
And Perry breaking out some of the video game moves right there. The little sidestep, hesitation, had to run the spin move as well, hitting the B button. An impressive run there for Sean Perry, and the Rough Riders are knocking on the door.
So Sean able to get 23 on that run. And they'll give it off to Kenning as he surges forward down to around the 2-yard line.
Yeah, and of the ball carriers, Kenning's by far the biggest one at 215, 6'1". As mentioned, he tied a school record last week with 4 rushing touchdowns, all coming from within the 5-yard line versus the Van Wert Cougars.
And he'll come out. Well, he was for a second. Now they're going to send him back out there. So on the 8th play of the drive for the Rough Riders, we'll see if they give it off to Kenning for his 5th touchdown of the year.
You see full house backfield here for the Rough Riders.
It's a QB keeper with Colin Clements waiting the signal from the officials. I think they're going to say he's short. Well, nope, now they're going to say touchdown, so he gets in. So how about the Rough Riders responding to the Indians' touchdown by quite a long drive, and they punch it in on the QB sneaker with Colin Clements.
Yeah, over 60 yards on that drive as the Rough Riders, all on the ground, are able to go ahead and potentially tie the game pending this extra point.
Van Devere will come out to try to put this one through the uprights. 12 of 12 on PAT attempts so far this year. This one on its way. This one looks just as good as the last 12. So we're tied up at 7 here at Skip Bachman Stadium. We've got a good one in store for this Week 4 contest between the St. Mary's Rough Riders and the Shawnee Indians.
TSC can save you money. How? TSC can save you money with Emerge.
What's Emerge?
The Emerge bundle plan. TSC will merge your phone, cable TV, and internet into one nice, neat package to save you money.
How much money?
A boatload. The Emerge bundle plan only from TSC.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler with tools like person-to-person payments, Pop Money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Owen Kitchen and Bath Showroom has been family owned and operated since 1990. We can help you from start to finish with your entire project. Let one of our professional designers put the final touches on your project. Owen Kitchen and Bath now has 2 showrooms to better serve you in Wapakoneta and Lima. Owen Kitchen and Bath, cabinetry that will take your breath away at prices that won't.
Hello, Frost Frost Roofing.
Frost Roofing holds the same core values our company was founded upon nearly 9 decades ago. We proudly provide quality craftsmanship and top-notch service to each client we serve. We're licensed by several major roofing manufacturers to give you the right recommendations at the best value for your investment. With state-of-the-art equipment, cutting-edge technology, and our honest way of doing business, Frost Roofing is our area's preferred commercial roofing experts. To learn more, visit frost-roofing.com or call 419-739-ROOF.
Colin Clements punches in the 1-yard run to cap off an 8-play, 63-yard drive with 1:28 to go in this first quarter, and what a response for the Roughriders, Paul.
Yeah, it was, and that's the senior quarterback's second rushing touchdown of the year, and looks like we're going to have an exciting one here tonight, Eli.
Well, if last week was any indication with the Shawnee offense and how they responded, they could put together a big drive here, but last week after Walpock was able to score, they stalled on their drive after their touchdown. It's a nice return that's going to go out to about the 25, and that's where Shawnee will take over.
Yeah, and for as dangerous as Ford is on the return, that's an excellent kick coverage there for the Roughriders.
Well, we've kind of talked about it. We talked about it a lot last week. The Western Buckeye League this year now finally starting to shape out a little bit with its teams and who people think are the favorites. Of course, you still got the 3 in St. Mary's, Walpock, and OG, but Elida have been surprising a lot of people as well, Paul.
You know, Elida's the only 3-0 team left in the Western Buckeye League, and we'll get a look at them the next 2 weeks on our broadcast on Game Face Ohio, as we do have a flag and a false start going to be whistled on the Shawnee Indians. And they actually had a very exciting game against the Salina Bulldogs.
Yes, they did.
Where they had to kick a field goal right at the end to be able to win by 2 and keep them undefeated. And Salina is another team that might be flying under the radar that people have to be careful for, and another team that we will have twice on our broadcast a little bit later in the season.
And by all accounts, the field goal was a chip shot, but in high school sports, especially high school football, no field goal is a chip shot. So
no.
Here's a run play from Caprella, and he's going to get himself a first down, or at least close to it. We'll see.
Well,
it's going to be short.
I think with penalty yardage.
Well, and yeah, I wasn't sure where they were going to spot him out. He danced the sideline a little bit over there. He got a few extra yardage.
Yeah, so really good decision. You know, he looked and didn't like what he seen, and instead of throwing it away, he tucked it down, got to the outside, and got about 7 yards.
Second down. This one will be a handoff, not going anywhere as the Roughriders defense stands tall, bringing up a third down for the Indians.
Yeah, the big sophomore, 270-pound Blake Knorr there to make the interior tackle. So we saw in the last drive, Shawnee was consistently getting third and twos, but now because of that penalty yardage, they have a 3rd and 6.
Caprella will roll out once again, looking for Wheeler. He's not there. He'll go to the deep option and Ford, but he overthrows him, and Jacobs has the interception. Here comes St. Mary's the other way as Christian Ford tackles Drew Jacobs at the 25, but that is the 3rd interception on the year for Johnny Caprella.
Yeah, and Drew Jacobs with his 2nd interception, and ultimately that's going to be, as good as a punt. But Caprella, probably would want that one back. He had Grant Wheeler wide open underneath. If he just would have checked down to him, he had plenty of time to be able to pick up that first down. But instead, that's going to be the first turnover of the ball game.
And it didn't look like Christian Ford was really expecting the pass either, as you take a look at the replay on your screen. Yeah, he was nowhere near where that pass ended up going.
It looks like he was breaking off his route for some reason, so it's a miscommunication.
So about 30 seconds left to play in this opening quarter as another short run play for the Roughriders.
Nice stick there by Jacob Cohen. We've called that junior's name a couple times. He's actually 2nd in the Western Buckeye League in tackles behind his teammate Peyton Wilson.
So we'll see if the Roughriders decide to run another play. They don't have to before the quarter ends, and it looks like they won't. So it was a very exciting quarter of play for both teams as we've gotten our first score of the game out of both the Roughriders and the Indians. So after one, it's 7-all here in this Week 4 contest from Skip Bachman Stadium. Back with more on Game Face Ohio.
Where is that TSC bill? How can I pay it if I can't find it?
You don't need the bill. You can pay it online at telcirco.com.
Wasn't there a special this month?
Yes, we got it from TSC's Facebook page.
I know I've got the announcement for the club here somewhere.
I just sent it to TSC to air on Channel 2. With telcirco.com, Facebook, Channel 2, and their newsletter, TSC makes it easy to stay connected.
Now, if they could just help me clean up my desk.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Stars and Stripes Graphics is your local screen printer located just east of the St. Mary's Memorial High School. Visit our showroom for all things Rough Rider, including jackets, sweatshirts, hats, sweatpants, ball caps, and more. We also carry items for New Knoxville Rangers and select collegiate gear for Ohio State and Michigan. Stars and Stripes Graphics, your local screen printer.
Dr. Compton has been delivering quality chiropractic care for nearly 20 years. He's committed to helping you find relief as quick as possible so there's no lengthy care plans. At Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, most insurances are accepted and walk-ins are always welcome. Conveniently located in downtown St. Mary's across from Chase Bank. To learn more, visit us online at smpainrelief.com and follow us on social media.
It's the name that you want to remember. Neck and Back Pain Relief Center.
Sides of the field as we're getting ready to start the second quarter here in St. Mary's. Eli Alvarez and Paul Sadler with you. And Paul, St. Mary's did a great job of answering the touchdown by the Indians, and now they get the takeaway. They'd love to score here and just add on to that already big momentum they had in that last drive.
Yeah, you always want to be able to capitalize on turnovers. And the Rough Riders are going to get a chance here as we have recognition of some former Rough Rider teams.
I think it caught the players off guard too, because they turned around and they said, "Who's that on the field?" They're getting their 15 minutes.
Well, I'm sure they would love to still have the pads on to be able to play again.
As the Rough Riders offense comes out, 156 total plays coming into this contest.
I'm going to point out something here. Carter Bellwig's been lined out here outside the huddle for quite a long time. We'll see if he's lining up as a distraction or if he's out there to be able to make something happen.
Yeah, because it's weird to see a Rough Riders wide receiver lined up so far out, isn't it? As this will be a handoff, so nothing really doing on that, but maybe keep an eye on that for the later stages of this contest. As the St. Mary's offense once again averaging 34 points per game in their first 3 games, including Sydney, OG, and then the Van Wert Cougars. But their biggest struggle came in week 2 when we did their game against OG. But OG's probably got one of the best defenses in the Western Buckeye League.
They do, and they end up with 21 points, but only 7 of those were offensive. They had a kick return and an interception return for a touchdown that game.
As this is going to be another handoff and another great job by the defense to get in there. That was Tyler Schlosser. That's going to be dropped for a loss.
Yeah, Schlosser is the one that actually had that pick 6 that pretty much iced the game against Otterwick-Landorf. But this time, Jacob Cohen again able to make the tackle for loss to be able to get the turnover, or excuse me, not the turnover, but the stop to force the punt.
So Fisher on to punt it away. Nice snap, and it's a nice punt. As Wilson's going to have to bounce back, and he's just going to let it roll as it goes down to the 10-yard line, and that's where it's going to be fielded. And I'll tell you what, Paul, in pregame, the coaches were furious at their specials teams unit. They were out there practicing punts, and they were having trouble catching it, having trouble fielding it, and it's carried over into the contest.
Well, that time, Wilson and Wheeler were just looking at each other, figuring the other one was going to catch it, and when neither one of them did, it bounced and it went at least 15 more, 20 more yards. So that cost them a lot of field position and not fielding that punt.
So backed up in the shadow of their own end zone are the Indians.
Although we do need to point out that they did have a 93-yard pass play last week.
Caprella's going to keep it as he gets some nice yardage on the run. Stopped by Bo Kenning, as talked about. He moved around a little bit on the defensive end with a couple changes that Coach Doug Fry had to make.
Yeah, and what a chip in. That was a 56-yard punt that time to really change the field position game totally here.
As Caprella will hand this one off to Daniels once again. And Daniels has had a lot of runs tonight, but he hasn't really got a lot of yards. That one may be one of his better ones. As we'll bring up a third down.
Again, Coach Crier showing a commitment to the run a little bit to get them in those third and reasonables. This one being about a 3rd and 4. But, you know, that gives you a lot of options. You can still run the ball. You got your short passing game. You obviously, the defense has to respect your deep passing game. Makes you tough to defend.
Caprella will throw it out to Wheeler. Gets some blocks, tries to break a tackle, and he's got the first down.
And so far, they've been successful passing the ball in those quick screens to be able to get the ball out quickly. They haven't really been successful passing downfield, but again, that's something that, you know, the St. Mary's coaches are very concerned with. But just some good play calling, some good execution so far here for the Indians on this drive. Caprella 6 for 8 passing so far.
As he's lined up in the shotgun once again, rolling out this time to his left. Looking for Wheeler. He throws it behind him, and Wheeler almost had a phenomenal one-handed catch, but it's a tough one to ask for him to pull in, as it'll bring up a second down.
Yeah, we got a flag down on the far side. We'll see what the call is.
Well, they're checking with St. Mary's, so it looks like it's going against Shawnee.
Illegal man downfield.
So that'll move the Indians back just a bit after they thought they picked up, well, it was an incomplete pass, but they thought they had a big play if Wheeler would have been able to pull it in.
It would have been tough, and sometimes for those right-handed quarterbacks, rolling to your left is really tough because, you know, your shoulders aren't meant to go that way. You have to turn and try to throw, and it's very tough to be as accurate rolling to the left when you're right-handed.
Ten seconds left on the play clock, and Caprella gets it off, throws it to Daniels. He's got some room to run up the near sideline, making his way to the 35, and he gets across it close to the first down, and I think it's going to be enough.
And it's going to be another flag on Shawnee once again. This time it looks like it might be a push in the back. Was a preliminary call?
Well, I think that's exactly what it's going to be, as Blake Knorr has limped off number 77 for the Roughriders on that play. So.
Yeah, and that's going to nullify a well-executed play call. As we can see right here, it's pretty much the same play that they ran for the touchdown, just going the other way. You know, quick little slip screen there to Daniels. Not a slip screen, but just a screen out of the backfield, slipping him out of the backfield. So now after 2 penalties, it's going to be basically 1st and 10 again.
So Caprella gets the snap. Going to drop straight back. Now he starts to roll out. Looking down the field to Wheeler. He finds him, and he's going to be dropped at around the 30.
Nice play by Wheeler to catch that, and nice tackle by Jackson Harris. You know, if Caprella can get that out just another step earlier, Wheeler would have had a chance to be able to turn up field with that and be able to avoid that tackle entirely. As you can see right here, you can see him crossing. If he could just get that out just a heartbeat earlier, that'd give his wide receiver a chance to be able to make some play in some space.
Again, the play clock running down low for the Indians offense. 4 seconds, and they get it off in time. Throw it into the flats to Wheeler. Nice block by Daniels, and that's the first down up to the 45.
That great blocking going on out there by the Shawnee receivers, Matt Sargent and then Daniels. You know, that times up perfectly because the Rough Riders have a man accounting for every receiver that's out there. So he has to, Daniels has to hustle out there. And so far he's been timing it up just as perfectly as, right, you can see the perfect block right there on Perry. He's been timing up as well as any pulling guard you'll see.
And Caprella will keep it. Again, some misdirection on the handoff across the 50-yard line, so a good play to set up a nice second down attempt for the Indians.
You know, and one thing we don't track of is play selection on first down, but, you know, Shawnee, after last week, who would have been very heavy on passing on first down, has been very heavy on running on first down, and it's really worked for him.
So 7:30 left in the second quarter of play, tied up at 7 apiece here in St. Mary's. As Caprella will throw once again. Looking for Daniels, but instead he goes out to Ford, and Ford has to slide almost a baseball-type catch across the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Francisco Lindor would have been happy with that slide right there. The streaking Cleveland Indians.
Had to get that one in, didn't you?
Oh, 22 in a row, man. We're excited.
So it'll set up a first down, another one for this Shawnee offense. And again, they're driving, showing some promise as they're going to run this one with, couldn't see exactly who grabbed it, but it was Daniels as he gets down to the 35.
And again, having a lot of success. You know, when you spread teams out defensively with your receivers, you spread the defense themselves out. There's less bodies inside, and again, that can open up some running lanes. You just have to defend a lot more of the field when you run these spread offenses.
And again, last week against Walpock, they had good drives. They just stalled by clumsy mistakes towards the end of them. So far, they're doing a good job of keeping them alive. And here's Wheeler keeping this one alive as he has a nice run down to around the 15-yard line.
And if you remember last week against Walpock, granted is because of negative plays on sacks. You know, Shawnee ended up with negative yardage running the ball, and obviously this has been a strength of them so far here in this first half. And in fact, after that run, they are actually outgaining the Rough Riders on the ground.
Nice little 17-yard pickup there for the senior Grant Wheeler. As this is going to be another handoff, this time to Daniels, and he's going to get forward for a gain of maybe 1.
And that was even though that wasn't for very many yards, that was still pretty impressive because the Rough Riders did an excellent job penetrating, was in the backfield, but he was able to squeeze by that first round of attack and avoid the negative play.
Well, and Paul, we know that St. Mary's is going to run the ball every game no matter who they're playing, but this is a Shawnee team that's just come out and determined and said, hey, we're going to pick up the running game as well, and that's why we've got 5.5 until the halftime break. This game's going by quick. As Caprella will drop back, looking to go deep, and he has man in the end zone, but it was thrown behind him.
That might have been for the best that it was thrown behind. If he would have thrown on target, there was about 3 blue jerseys, all with an eye of potentially picking that off. So that was really probably the best decision that Caprella could do. You know, live to throw another game because you're in the red zone. You're at the 17-yard line. You know, you're pretty much in 4-down territory unless you pick up a sizable amount where you might think of maybe a field goal when you get a little bit closer.
That was Matt Sargent, the intended receiver on the last play. So 4 receivers spread out. Caprella's going to roll out, looking to throw. He's being pressured, gets away from one, now he gets away from another. He's got some room to run now, and he'll use his legs as he's up and across the 10-yard line, down and pushed out around the 5. Johnny Caprella, ladies and gentlemen.
I tell you what, Johnny Football on that play, he was able to outrun, I mean the college version, not the pro version. He looked impressive because he should have been sacked in the backfield, but he ran for his life, and we see on this replay, I mean, he ran all across the field, all the way to the left-hand side. Should have been sacked 2 different times right there. Still thinking about running, but passing, but at this time he decides to tuck it and go and picks up the first down, and they are inside the 5-yard line of the Rough Riders.
Glad you made that distinction of which version of Johnny Football. That really helped. As Caprella will go under center for this one. And he'll hand it off to Daniels, who will bounce it outside and walk into the end zone. So the Shawnee Indians are on top once again in this ball game.
And that's Davion Daniels' second touchdown of the game, this time on the ground. And a great answer by the Shawnee Indians. Again, last week we did their game. As you mentioned, they scored early, went up 7-0, then they didn't score the rest of the game and had some self-inflicted mistakes. You know, this time they have really avoided the negative play, and it's really paid off for them.
So Voorhees will do the kicking for the Indians and try to make this a 7-point ball game. Very impressive indeed for Shawnee in this first half so far offensively, as whistles will blow before the kick as a penalty marker is down, and they're going to call, looks like, Roughriders on encroachment there.
But we saw this last week. You know, a lot of times, they're just going to decline the penalty because that just kind of throws off the timing and where the kicking team wants to be. So when you go against teams like that, sometimes you're kind of encouraged to try to guess that as much as you can, because they're just, if they're going to keep declining the penalty, keep trying to get that extra half second off the ball if you can.
Only one missed PAT for Voorhees this year, and he doesn't miss that one. So it's 14-7 with 5:06 to go in the second quarter. The Indians are rolling. We'll see how the Roughriders respond after this here on Game Face Ohio.
Hello?
Call dropped?
Hello?
No more minutes? Lost your phone? Don't worry. Telephone service from TSC is always crystal clear. Never runs out of minutes. Never has a dead battery. And most importantly, in an emergency, it displays your address for 911. Plus, TSC keeps you connected with free calling in our expanded calling area. Ask about telephone service from TSC today.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
IC Signs designs, creates, and installs custom eye-catching signs. We use state-of-the-art technology to produce indoor and outdoor signs, LED message boards, and vehicle wraps. We can also help you with LED light conversion, sign refurbishing, custom t-shirts, promotional items, and your print needs. Whether you know what you want or have no idea, trust the experience of IC Signs. Call IC Signs at 419-738-6640.
Strength is about so much more than the body. It's about being together, serving, sharing, and caring for those around us. It's about keeping score in the heart rather than on a scoreboard. Be a part of a community that builds more than your body. At the Wapakoneta Family YMCA.
Javion Daniels already has a receiving touchdown. He adds a rushing one on a 4-yard run, capping off a 15-play, 89-yard drive. And the Indians, after scoring the first touchdown last week and being held scoreless, have responded well here in week 4. Another short kick. Dunlap will field it at around the 10. He's a dangerous returner, and he's showing why, but he fumbled the ball, and the Indians say they have it. Let's see what the officials say, as they will give it to Shawnee. So how about that?
Yeah, and that's Ivan Smith, the senior, able to come up with it. We didn't see who made the hit, but a crucial turnover in transition as Dunlap puts the ball on the ground, and Shawnee is able to take advantage.
Well, Braden Dunlap, yep, we talked about the kickoff return for a touchdown in week 2 against OG.
Here's the replay.
And that time he just got it knocked loose.
That's Kane Bentz, I believe, is the one that knocked it loose.
And Caprella will keep it. Has some room to run. Dunlap trying to make up for his fumble, and he does with a nice tackle.
Yeah, could be able to tackle his number on the other side, number 14. But Kane Bentz, I believe, he's the one that blocked a punt a couple weeks ago against Defiance. He just have a knack for where the ball is.
Well, and we saw it in the Week 2 game against OG. Drew Jacobs had a muffed punt that ended up in a turnover. Then he turns right back around on the defensive end and comes up with an interception. So Dunlap eager to try to get the ball back for his squad here on defense.
And we'll see if they can turn this turnover into points.
Daniels will get the handoff, but he can't shake and bake past the St. Mary's defense as he pitches it backwards. No, they're going to say now it's an incomplete pass as he was well behind as he was trying to throw that ball forward. That was a weird play altogether.
That's awkward. He threw the ball forward, but that didn't hit the ground, did it?
That's what the officials are saying.
I could see, I guess here's a replay. He threw the ball. Man, maybe it did bounce there.
One hopped him.
So, okay. So, anyway, previously to these last two plays, I wanted to point out that Shawnee actually is out rushing St. Mary's, as I mentioned, as Shawnee is at the 100-yard mark, and St. Mary's only has 68 yards so far rushing for the game. And we'll see how aggressive Coach Frank Crier is here. They're on the 32-yard line.
It will be a pass to Wheeler. They've gone to this play a few times. This one only going to get about 2 or 3, but a flag comes in late. Wait to see what that one's all about, but this may be going against the Indians, and it is for a holding call.
It is, and I hate to say, because it seems like they've gotten quite a few calls against them, but I believe that is a pretty good call. I did see some jersey being held right there, and that's going to negate a good gain on third down that would have set up a fourth and reasonable. I bet Coach Fry will make them go back and take the 10-yard penalty to set up the third and very long to just keep them away from the red zone.
Well, all credit to this point to the St. Mary's defense. After the turnover, they've stopped Shawnee, and they've had a lot of momentum so far in this ball game. As the 4:07 mark.
So that's actually the 6th penalty already this game for Shawnee.
That's going to be a talking point in the locker room at halftime for sure. Caprella facing a 3rd and 19. Fakes the option, keeps it himself, and he's going to be ankle tackled by Jackson Harris at around the line of scrimmage.
Well, definitely not what they wanted to get out of that turnover situation because of the penalty. You know, they went backwards, but it's 4th and a lot, 4th and around 18. You know, this might be a punting situation, or it looks like they're going to keep their offense out there.
Well, I guess they figure if they're going to give it up, that they're far enough back where they don't think St. Mary's will be able to punch it in with 3 minutes to go, but the play clock's running down. 5 seconds now.
Well, he might be waiting to call a timeout. Yeah.
Down to 1, and that's exactly what they'll do. So, timeout with 3:17 to go in the second quarter of play. 14-7, Shawnee on top of the Roughriders here in Week 4.
TSC can save you money. How? TSC can save you money with Emerge.
What's Emerge?
The Emerge bundle plan. TSC will merge your phone, cable TV, and internet in one nice, neat package to save you money.
How much money?
A boatload. The Emerge bundle plan, only from TSC.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler with tools like person-to-person payments, Pop Money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Owen Kitchen and Bath Showroom has been family owned and operated since 1990. We can help you from start to finish with your entire project. Let one of our professional designers put the final touches on your project. Owen Kitchen and Bath now has 2 showrooms to better serve you in Wapakoneta and Lima. Owen Kitchen and Bath, cabinetry that will take your breath away at prices that won't.
Hello, Frost Roofing.
Frost Roofing holds the same core values our company was founded upon nearly 9 decades ago. We proudly provide quality craftsmanship and top-notch service to each client we serve. We're licensed by several major roofing manufacturers to give you the right recommendations at the best value for your investment. With state-of-the-art equipment, cutting-edge technology, and our honest way of doing business, Frost Roofing is our area's preferred commercial roofing experts. To learn more, visit frost-roofing.com or call 419-739-ROOF.
14-7, Shawnee on top, and they're going to go for it on a 4th and very long, Paul.
Well, I actually do think they're in a punting
they are going to punt now.
Formation out here. So probably the best thing, I mean, you want to be aggressive, but, you know, once it's 4th and 18, this is probably the right call.
It's an okay punt, and as it rolls out at around the 5-yard line. We'll change that to great.
Yeah, that's a great punt.
It's a great punt.
You know, no return. It goes out of bounds inside the 10-yard line.
Being modest for Johnny Caprella. So St. Mary's will take over with 3:09 to go here in the second quarter, and they trail 14-7 as they were able to avoid the scare of going down 2 touchdowns before the halftime break because of the turnover off the return by Braden Dunlap.
But I tell you what, we've seen time and time again Coach Doug Fry's Rough Rider teams coming through at the end of the second quarter to usually put some points on the board. I know they have a long field in front of them, but you know, I wouldn't put it against them.
So no first down. The clock will continue to run. We're under 3 minutes to go. And we'll see what the game plan is here. Again, Coach Fry, pretty conservative coach. I don't think he'd be too upset if they go into the locker room down just 1 touchdown, but they've still got 2:40 to go here. As Dunlap will get it up the far sideline, and he gets it around the 15, and that's about it, just short of it actually.
Yeah, really good pursuit there by the Shawnee defense, and they're kind of showing you know, sometimes the offense gets a lot of the credit, but this Shawnee defense is first in the Western Buckeye League in fewest points given up a game.
So 2:09 and counting on this 3rd down for the Rough Riders. It's going to be a rollout for Clements as he finds Dunlap, and Dunlap gets a nice block from his lineman, but he stumbles, and we'll see what the spot is. I think he's going to be short.
It's pretty close. So the one official seems to think that's going to be enough for the first down, but when we
they
first
are giving
saw
the first
that,
down.
Yeah, it is first down. But when we first saw that, it looked like Braden Dunlap had all kinds of space, but we can see here when he jumped over, he kind of slipped a little bit, and that gave Cohen just enough time to be able to come in and make the play.
So 1:40 now. Here's going to be a handoff to Perry, as that last play was the first 3rd down conversion for the Rough Riders in this contest, and now they've got a 2nd down to deal with.
And I tell you what, I'll give you 3 guesses who made that tackle that time again for Shawnee. I'm not sure the first 2 will count, as Jacob Cohen once again just seems to be all over the field for this defense.
Clements hands it off. Dunlap. And Dunlap goes nowhere, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
And on the tackle, Jacob Cohen once again. I mean, it is really unbelievable, how many tackles he is getting himself into.
You're going to, anytime we see a number 27 from now on in any of our games, you're just going to be thinking Cohen.
It is incredible. We look at the statistics. Peyton Wilson's actually the leading tackler on this team.
Another handoff play. This one's going to be short this time for a first down, and it'll bring up a 4th and very short for the Rough Riders.
Yeah, Will Robinson able to make the play on that. So 4th and really short, as you mentioned. Clock is ticking down. And really, if no one calls a timeout, it looks like they can just take it all the way down to halftime.
I think that's what the game plan is. Neither coach really wants to call a timeout, as both teams are content to go into the locker room with the score of 14-7. Shawnee on top here in this Week 4 matchup at Skip Bachman Stadium. We'll take a quick break and come back and tell you a little bit about that first half. You're watching Game Face Ohio.
Where is that TSC bill? How can I pay it if I can't find it?
You don't need the bill. You can pay it online at telcirco.com.
Wasn't there a special this month?
Yes, we got it from TSC's Facebook page.
I know I've got the announcement for the club here somewhere.
I just sent it to TSC to air on Channel 2. With telcirco.com, Facebook, Channel 2, and their newsletter, TSC makes it easy to stay connected.
Now, if they could just help me clean up my desk.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Stars and Stripes Graphics is your local screen printer located just east of the St. Mary's Memorial High School. Visit our showroom for all things Rough Rider, including jackets, sweatshirts, hats, sweatpants, ball caps, and more. We also carry items for New Knoxville Rangers and select collegiate gear for Ohio State and Michigan. Stars and Stripes Graphics, your local screen printer.
Dr. Compton has been delivering quality chiropractic care for nearly 20 years. He's committed to helping you find relief as quick as possible so there's no lengthy care plans. At Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, most insurances are accepted and walk-ins are always welcome. Conveniently located in downtown St. Mary's across from Chase Bank. To learn more, visit us online at smpainrelief.com and follow us on social media.
It's the name that you want to remember. Neck and Back Pain Relief Center.
Halftime here at Skip Bachman Stadium in this Week 4 matchup between the St. Mary's Roughriders and the Shawnee Indians. It's the Indians on top, 14-7 here at halftime, and let's take a look at how we got to that score with our scoring summary as it got kicked off in the first quarter at the 4:22 mark with a 9-yard reception from Javion Daniels. He capped off a 10-play, 56-yard drive. Remember that play for just a little bit later, as then the Roughriders responded with a QB keeper with Colin Clements, 8 plays, 63 yards, 1-yard run, and then Javion Daniels doing it with his feet this time at the 5:06 mark of the second quarter on a 4-yard run. That was a 15-play, 89-yard drive, and that's how we get to our score of 14-7. So as we usually do at this time of the halftime report, let's step inside Sadler's schoolhouse.
We're going to look at, Eli, is Javion Daniels' first touchdown on the screen pass. It's combination, excellent execution, and also the right call at the right time. Okay, what we're going to see right here are Gavin Looney and then Adam Lewis are going to set up in pass protection. That's going to encourage these guys to rush upfield, but we're also going to see a blitz coming from over the side of the screen here in a little bit by Jackson Harris, excuse me, that's going to really set up this play. So let's go ahead and run it for a little bit. And as we're going to see, we're going to stop it right now. You can see the blitz coming right here, and then you have Javion Daniels right there. Looks like he's going to try to block to pick up that blitz, and these guys just starting to get through on the screen pass. Now as we run it through, you can see now all of those guys are now going after the quarterback, and now we have the screen set up. Go ahead and run it just for a little bit. Now freeze it right here. Now finally what really finishes this off is the downfield blocking. Okay, Peyton Wilson and Grant Wheeler, the receivers blocking downfield field have been excellent. Go ahead and finish the play for the success so far tonight of the Shawnee Indians, and that helped create just the perfect play call at the perfect time to get that first touchdown for the Shawnee Indians.
Again, AJ and I taking notes as usual during Sadler Schoolhouse. 14-7, the Shawnee Indians are on top here at halftime as both teams are out on the field and enjoying a little bit of a performance from the St. Mary's band.
With a little help from my friends, here's our Beatles closer.
Call dropped?
Hello?
No more minutes? Lost your phone? Don't worry. Telephone service from TSC is always crystal clear. Never runs out of minutes. Never has a dead battery. And most importantly, in an emergency, it displays your address for 911. Plus, TSC keeps you connected with free calling in our expanded calling area. Ask about telephone service from TSC today.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
IC Signs designs, creates, and installs custom eye-catching signs. We use state-of-the-art technology to produce indoor and outdoor signs, LED message boards, and vehicle wraps. We can also help you with LED light conversion, sign refurbishing, custom t-shirts, promotional items, and your print needs. Whether you know what you want or have no idea, trust the experience of IC Signs. Call IC Signs at 419-738-6640.
Strength is about so much more than the body. It's about being together, serving, sharing, and caring for those around us. It's about keeping score in the heart rather than on a scoreboard. Be a part of a community that builds more than your body. At the Wapakoneta Family YMCA.
Back here for the second half at Skip Bachman Stadium with the Indians leading the Roughriders 14-7. Before we kick it off, let's go ahead and take a look at our Neck and Back Pain Relief Center halftime adjustments.
We're going to go ahead and first start with Shawnee. You know, to protect that lead, they need to keep it running. Not mean to run every down, but they need to continue to stick with the game plan that got them where they are, which is kind of more run and then to set up the pass that way than the other way around. For St. Mary's, the defense has got to get off the field for them and give themselves their offense good field position so they can do what they do.
Well, 14-7, Shawnee on top. Two impressive drives by the Indians in that first half to get those touchdown results, as both of those drives had at least 10 plays or more in them.
Yeah, but we want to look at this long series, you know, that has first met back in 1928. St. Mary's has won, and there's actually a misprint there. It's actually 35-19 and won. St. Mary's won the last two, but previous to that, Shawnee had won 8 in a row, which was a record for a winning streak for Shawnee.
Well, Shawnee won the toss and got the ball to start the first half, so the opposite, of course, will happen here with the Roughriders getting it to start things off, and boy, would they love to go down on their first drive of the second half and tie this one up.
Yeah, and by the way, a beautiful shot right there. Our cameras there at the Grand Opera House with the sun setting. Beautiful atmosphere here at Skip Bachman Stadium. But kind of pigeonholing that a little bit, Shawnee has kicked away from St. Mary's so far by keeping it a little bit shorter and by the sidelines to try to prevent that big play. But you do remember they actually did come up with a big fumble on a previous kickoff.
So it will be the sophomore and Jacob Voorhees to kick it off for the Indians. And we'll see if they continue that trend, Paul, of going away from the returners. As this one actually goes right to Braden Dunlap. He's looking for some redemption after fumbling his last return. He's got a nice one up across the 35 is where he's going to be dragged down, and that's where they'll start with the offense.
That good return again. Very dangerous back there is Dunlap, as he's averaging over 30 yards a return, including that 91-yarder against OG. But it brings out the offense here for St. Mary's. Down a touchdown. Obviously, no reason to panic. You know, they have a lot of confidence. They're averaging 34 points a game. You know, they just have to kind of, again, as I mentioned, the halftime adjustments, just do what they do and move the ball.
It will be a handoff to Perry, and he'll get up to around the 39-yard line.
But again, credit this Shawnee defense. They held the St. Mary's offensive rushing attack to 79 yards in the first half, keeping in mind that St. Mary's averages 315 yards on the ground.
So 2nd and 8 for the Roughriders, and Clements will hand it off once again. This one going nowhere once again. Kind of a duplicate of what we saw with the first drive of the ball game for St. Mary's, and Shawnee's defense coming up big on the first two plays.
Yeah, run the same play back to back, the dive to the left with Perry. Again, they did get positive yards both times, but not nearly as much as they'd like, but it does bring up a 3rd and 5 as the Shawnee defense did a pretty good job.
Coming into the contest, it's a St. Mary's offense that only converted on 55% of their 3rd down conversions. Perry looking to get that number up higher as he stretches for the first down, and he's going to be knocked out past the 50, and that's enough for the first down.
And so far, for a team that likes to spread the ball around, it's been the Sean Perry show for the first 3 plays as the leading ground gainer for the Roughriders moves the chains. And Coach Creave putting in the big Nick Azzarello, 300-pounder, gets some more beef on that line to try to help out with that rushing attack.
Dunlap will be the ball carrier, has a hole, and he's going to be knocked down across the 40-yard line, and that one looks close enough for the first down. And it is.
Yeah, so right at 10 yards for Braden Dunlap. You know, you don't usually see a whole lot of 6'4" ball carriers, but he looks pretty good out there doing it.
Clements hands it off. This time it's going to be Fowler. And one thing too, Paul, was able to talk with a few of the Van Wert players after last week's matchup, and the biggest thing that they all took away from playing St. Mary's was they're a bunch of big kids and we're pretty sore. And I'm sure the rest of the WBL echoes that sentiment as well.
Yeah, there's some good-sized kids out there. You know, Garrett Louth is 310 pounds, Ian Young 225, Mitchell Sewer 230.
As a flag is thrown, it's a short yardage pickup for Dunlap. And it looks like it's going to be a sideline warning against Shawnee.
Well, they're all even now in sideline warnings. Hey, don't worry about that holding right in front of you.
As the Shawnee crowd, we talked about last week how they had a lot to cheer about in the first quarter, but then in the second quarter, Walpock started to take over. With their team up now in the second half, they're really now getting rowdy as they can sense a possible upset, but they first have to get this offense of St. Mary's off the field on 3rd and 5. As Clements will hand it off to Fowler, and he's going to be dropped, and that'll bring up a 4th down decision for Coach Fry.
Bobby Grochin, a 280-pounder, and credit the Shawnee Indians. Between the tackles, they have really handled the Roughriders about as well as I've seen. and it's really credit to the big guys inside. Now, given the situation and field position, Coach Fry keeping his offense out there on kind of a no doubt or 4th and down attempt on 4th and 3.
Play clock running down. They get it off in time. It's going to be a throw, and it is completed for the first down. And how about that? Maybe a little bit of misdirection as Wyatt Barhorse comes up with the big reception for the Roughriders.
Yeah, only his second catch of the season, and that's as big as any as he has had, as that is a 4th down conversion for the Roughriders, and that will keep this drive alive.
Well, he's listed as a tight end technically, but in this offense you don't see too many of those guys going out for receptions, as this will be a handoff to Sean Perry, and he's going to be dropped at the 25-yard line as the defense for Shawnee continues to perform.
Yeah, strung out very well there by Roberson, and then Jacob Chantos there to clean it up for the Shawnee Indians, which I do want to kind of mention, considering we had them last week, how much easier it is to see their numbers this week with those road uniforms.
I still stand by my statement last week that those uniforms were pretty slick, but I do like that we can actually see who they are now. That is a good point.
That is a helpful part of announcing.
As St. Mary's comes to the line in their home uniforms. It's going to be a trick play as Dunlap looking to throw. He's got a man open, and it's a touchdown. And how about that? Ty Howe, misdirection, and the Roughriders are a PAT away from tying this one up.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier that Braden Dunlap can throw the ball as well, and this time he does it on the little razzle-dazzle half-cut pass. It wasn't clean, in other words, because he kind of bobbled the ball a little bit, but he had enough time because Howe was wide open, and the Roughriders strike back.
So Vanderveer, perfect on the season so far to this point. And looks like he's going to continue that as we're tied up at 14 apiece here in St. Mary's. We've got a good one in store with 7:58 to go in the third quarter.
TSC can save you money. How? TSC can save you money with Emerge.
What's Emerge?
The Emerge bundle plan. TSC will merge your phone, cable TV, and internet into one nice, neat package to save you money.
How much money?
A boatload. The Emerge bundle plan, only from TSC.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler, with tools like person-to-person payments, Pop Money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community, with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Owen Kitchen and Bath Showroom has been family owned and operated since 1990. We can help you from start to finish with your entire project. Let one of our professional designers put the final touches on your project. Owen Kitchen and Bath now has 2 showrooms to better serve you in Wapakoneta and Lima. Owen Kitchen and Bath, cabinetry that will take your breath away at prices that won't.
Hello, Frost Roofing.
Frost Roofing holds the same core values our company was founded upon nearly 9 decades ago. We proudly provide quality craftsmanship and top-notch service to each client we serve. We're licensed by several major roofing manufacturers to give you the right recommendations at the best value for your investment. With state-of-the-art equipment, cutting-edge technology, and our honest way of doing business, Frost Roofing is our area's preferred commercial roofing experts. To learn more, visit frost-roofing.com or call 419-739-ROOF.
Touchdown for the Roughriders off the mixed direction trick play as Vanderveer kicks it off, and it's fielded by Wheeler, and he's got room to run. Good field position as he gets across the 35, Paul.
Yeah, he was tight-roping that sideline because it looked like he almost caught the ball with his foot out of bounds, but he was just inside and then stayed tight there to get some good field position for the Shawnee Indians. But we'll kind of mention, again, the Roughriders, what a play to be able to tie this football game on the halfback pass. Dunlap, again, is a weapon in lots of different ways, running the ball, catching the ball, in this case, passing the ball.
Shawnee's got a weapon of their own, and it's Johnny Caprella, but he's going to give it off to Grant Wheeler this time, and he's going to be stuffed for a short yardage gain.
And that time it was Austin Giesige playing again defensive tackle this week. And they kind of made that move in mind so that he could chase after Caprella passing the ball, but with the run game being a little bit more than what it's been, he's been called in to stop the run.
Caprella handed it off once again. This time it's Javion Daniels, and he'll get across the 40, so it's a 3rd and now manageable for this Shawnee offense.
And the man that's got both touchdowns for the Shawnee Indians showing some grit as he got some contact and still pushed his pads ahead to get a couple yards. So now there's a 3rd and 3, and this is where the Rough Rider defense, as I mentioned, they need to get off the field. They need to get the stop, get the ball back to their offense. And for Shawnee, just to keep momentum from slipping away, they need a conversion.
Caprella will throw this time. Has some receivers, and he goes to Wheeler, but it's incomplete. He led him a little too far, and now it's a 4th down, and it looks like they'll send out the punting unit.
Yeah, well covered by the Rough Riders. They had Jackson Harris on the man-to-man coverage as they were running double crossing routes, and he was able to stay with Wheeler, and that forces the punt.
So the Indians unable to answer the Rough Riders touchdown on that last drive. So Caprella will punt it away. It's a line drive punt. It's going to take a bounce, but Jacobs will field it at the 25 with room to run, and he takes a shot around the 40, and that's where Colin Clements and the offense will set up for St. Mary's.
And the Rough Riders kind of do what they do. They don't panic. They run their stuff, and then when they lull you to sleep a little bit, Coach Fry has a lot of tricks in his bag, and he took one out there at the perfect time that last drive.
Well, we saw it last year. They like to run that little bit of a hook and ladder type play with Eric Spicer coming out of the backfield a few times. That went for a touchdown. So teams know they're capable of it. It's just a matter of stopping it when they do it. As here is a little bit of a reverse play to Dunlap, gives him a lot of room to run as he's going to be taken out by the legs close to the 1st down.
Yeah, that's a play we haven't really seen from the Rough Riders. That's a double handoff reverse back to Dunlap, and that takes some ball handling to be able to execute. So nice job by the Rough Riders, and really on a play like that, you almost got to credit the defense for only giving up 8 yards, because that's a tough play to stop when you got a playmaker like Dunlap going downhill.
2nd and 2 for the Rough Riders. It'll be a handoff, and it's plenty for Shannon Fowler to get the 1st down.
So the Rough Riders started this half down a touchdown already. Now with 6 minutes to go in this quarter, have tied up the ball game and are now in Indian territory. So again, got it feeling pretty good where they're at.
As Clements comes quickly to the line of scrimmage, and he'll hand this one off, and it's another nice run. This one will get up to the 35, and the offense keeps on clicking for the Rough Riders.
And the Rough Riders really pride themselves on trying to wear teams down as the game goes on. Between the tackles so far, the Indians have been pretty stout against the run. That's something that they can't really give up that much yardage in between the tackles on 1st down.
I believe that was Ty Schlosser on the run for the Rough Riders in that last play. As he will get it once again, going across the 30, enough for the 1st down. And Paul, we talked about it last week with Walpock after Shawnee scored on them and took the lead. Their offense calmly drove down the field and put up touchdown after touchdown. We're starting to see St. Mary's offense have the same type of patience in this drive.
Yeah, in high school football, momentum is just huge. And right now, momentum's wearing blue and gold, and they feel really good about themselves.
4:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. This one right up the middle, but the ball comes loose, and it's a turnover because the Indians jumped on it right away. The officials haven't signaled it yet, but they come out of the pile with the ball. What a big play. Kane Bentz comes up with it, and Shawnee turns it around.
And Kane Bentz, who we credited for causing the fumble on the kickoff return, this time sees the ball on the ground, jumps on it, and a second fumble turnover for the Roughriders, and that was much needed for the Indians, who saw momentum really slipping away from them. They really needed that turnover.
Well, and it gives Johnny Caprella and his offense another chance to try and take the lead.
And we'll see. Some teams like to be very aggressive after a turnover. We'll see if they go up top.
It will just be a run play, but it's significant yardage for Grant Wheeler. It'll be about 5 or 4 on the run.
And again, I like that commitment to the game plan. Run the ball on first down, get some good yardage, and put yourself in better position for second and third.
Well, and one thing, Paul, that at least to this point the Indians are doing a lot better job of is no penalties. And that was something they had a problem with in the first half. As we've got some movement on the line, and they're going to call it a false start going against Shawnee, so that will back them up on this second down.
Yeah, unfortunately that was Adam Lewis who's getting a head start there at right tackle. We highlighted him as doing a great job on the schoolhouse at halftime on that first touchdown, but this time it cost 5 yards for his team.
So now we'll see if Shawnee stays committed to the run game here on second down and long, or if they have Caprella drop back and try to do it with his arm.
Well, you know what? They've been biding their time. They've only really gone down the field once, and it was an interception, and it wasn't open. So they haven't forced it to their defense.
This will be a throw. It's a short one completed to Christian Ford, the junior. And that one went to about the line of scrimmage, so it wasn't really anything there for the Indians.
No, but if he was able to get it just a little bit higher where he was able to maintain his run, he had some space to Christian Ford.
So 3:30 to go in the third quarter, and it's a big third down and 11 for the Indians. Caprella dropping back, rolls out to his right. He's being chased by Harris, gets it away, and it's caught, and it's held on to by the sophomore Peyton Wilson for the first down.
Yes, and Wilson, what a catch. Our player to watch is undercut by Christian Triplett as he jumped up. I thought Caprella was going to run for it, but instead he found his man passing back, and that could be a tough pass, but he put it right where it needed to go, and a 14-yard pass play on a third down and 12 picks up the first down.
Another handoff to Daniels, room to run as he bounces it outside. He's quick as he gets it close to the 50-yard line, and this offense starting to click now for Shawnee after the big reception.
And Javion Daniels has been a big player for this Shawnee Indian team so far.
And it's a sigh of relief, too, for the Indians, because he didn't have that great of a week last week against Walpock, and he's come out and just put on a show for his away team here, as they've traveled well from Shawnee to St. Mary's. Pass to Wheeler. He's going to be stopped immediately, and it's Dunlap getting in the backfield there to knock him down.
And that's a play they had run very successfully, probably about 4 times in the first half, but it had to time up perfectly to get that inside slot receiver to be able to kick out the man responsible for the receiver. But that time, Dunlap was too quick to the ball and got the tackle for loss.
So 2.5 to go now in the third quarter.
Again, it brings up another critical third down and 5.
Play clock down to 5 seconds. Now to 3. 1 second remaining. They get it off just in time. Caprella is going to scramble. He's got some room to run. He got the first down if he can break the tackle, and he did, but the ball came loose. Fortunately for him, I think he has a friend out there jumped on it, so that's going to be a first down and a fortunate fumble recovery for the offense.
Yeah, Johnny on the spot that time was the center, Howard Perkins, only a sophomore, kind of with a saving hustle play to get that ball. You see Caprella, he has been very dangerous as on this replay, getting to the outside. He escapes the tackle by spinning of Austin Giesige, but Giesige actually knocked the ball out. But that was enough for a first down as, again, the center, Perkins, makes the big play.
And we saw Caprella roughed up a little bit in their game last week against Walpock. Not showing any side effects yet in this one as he dances away from another tackle. He'll take off on another adventure, and this time he's tackled by a host of Roughriders at the 45.
You know, a difference between last week's game and this week's game is Caprella was going down with almost the first contact a lot of times in the backfield. This time he has been near amazing, getting away from some really good defenders for the Roughriders that you think a lot of times would be able to get him down. So again, credit Caprella for making some individual athletic plays.
And right now he's just putting that offense on his back, but I think the officials want to take a timeout to look at something here. They're going to talk over something. It might be the health of Caprella because he's been struggling out there.
For providing your St. Mary's gate buster item tonight.
And
they would like to thank McDonald's.
It looks like maybe the officials. Well, he's talking to Coach Crier right now. I'm not sure what about.
Frank Crier in his second year here at Lima Shawnee, as mentioned, not so much I guess in our broadcast this week. You know, Shawnee hadn't been winning a lot of games. Last year was only 1-9. The year before they're 0-10. This year starts off 2-0, and you know, here at one of the toughest places to play, not only in the Western Buckeye League but really our area, has got Shawnee playing really, really well. So things are definitely pointed in the right direction for the Shawnee Indians. Still not exactly sure what's going on.
Well, Johnny Caprella is on the sideline and his offense is back out there without him. So I think the officials have taken him out of this ball game. The new safety rules that they have out there allowing officials to remove a player, as it's going to be the new quarterback, Matt Bean, the sophomore. He was warming up with Caprella before the game, and they just want to check on the safety and the health of Johnny Caprella. So Shawnee's offense now with a new quarterback controlling it. They're going to run it again with Wheeler, and the running game still standing tall as they get it down past the 40-yard line, and Caprella's going to come back out onto the field.
So when they call timeout for protection of the player, he must come out for at least one play, and then it's kind of up to the coaching staff and training staff if he wants to go out there or not. So, you know, credit Matt Bean and really the rest of the team for making a pretty effective play there on second down to bring up this 3rd and 2.
30 seconds to go in the quarter. Caprella's going to hand it off, and it's Daniels, and he's going to be stopped short. So a 4th down decision now.
So, and it looks like, you know, given the time, it's going to bring up a 4th down, but it looks like they're going to be able to think about this between the 3rd and 4th quarter.
And that's exactly what's going to happen as the clock is winding down. We're tied here, heading into the 4th quarter at 14 apiece in this Week 4 contest between the Roughriders and the Indians here on Game Face Ohio.
Where is that TSC bill? How can I pay it if I can't find it?
You don't need the bill. You can pay it online at telcirco.com.
Wasn't there a special this month?
Yes, we got it from TSC's Facebook page.
I know I've got the announcement for the club here somewhere.
I just sent it to TSC to air on Channel 2. With telcirco.com, Facebook, Channel 2, and their newsletter, TSC makes it easy to stay connected.
Now, if they could just help me clean up my desk.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Stars and Stripes Graphics is your local screen printer located just east of the St. Mary's Memorial High School. Visit our showroom for all things Rough Rider, including jackets, sweatshirts, hats, sweatpants, ball caps, and more. We also carry items for New Knoxville Rangers and select collegiate gear for Ohio State and Michigan. Stars and Stripes Graphics, your local screen printer.
Dr. Compton has been delivering quality chiropractic care for nearly 20 years. He's committed to helping you find relief as quick as possible so there's no lengthy care plans. At Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, most insurances are accepted and walk-ins are always welcome. Conveniently located in downtown St. Mary's across from Chase Bank. To learn more, visit us online at smpainrelief.com and follow us on social media.
It's the name that you want to remember. Neck and Back Pain Relief Center.
Back here at Skip Bachman, we apologize for some technical difficulties, but on the 4th down play out of the timeout, Johnny Caprella just continues to put this offense on his back as he went all the way using his legs for the touchdown and is going to set up this PAT attempt on a 40-yard run. And the point after is good. Penalty flag's down, but let's see what they say here.
They threw it into the pile, which is something you don't see. I wonder if they hit the snapper.
Well, it only took 10 seconds of the 4th quarter for the Indians to get on the board, but now let's see what the official says.
Personal foul.
Yeah, going against the Roughriders.
And it's not explained, but kind of where they threw it wouldn't surprise me if they hit the long snapper. The long snapper is protected on kicking play. So I believe we got a look at that replay of that touchdown. Again, as a 4th and 2 from the 40-yard line. And I believe we're going to get this replay here for the truck. Here we go. So run a play action, and there you see he has Ty Schlosser one-on-one, and he makes a miss, makes a move on the outside on Drew Jacobs, and then goes all the way to the end zone. So Shawnee, if you remember, it looked like they were giving up some momentum after being forced to punt the ball. St. Mary's running the ball down, looking pretty good, but then recovered a fumble, then took it all the way down, then converted on that 4th down to start the 4th quarter. And the Shawnee Indians retake the lead on this touchdown. There you see another angle, just tremendous execution and individual effort by Johnny Caprella. Again, that is his 5th rushing touchdown of the year, and because of the 15-yard penalty, the Shawnee Indians will be kicking off from the 45-yard line of the Roughriders. And personally, this is just me. If I get a personal foul, I'm highly considering onside kicking right here, because even if you don't get it, they get the ball at about the 30-yard line. But most teams try to just kick the ball in the end zone.
And again, we apologize for those technical difficulties, but thanks to the guys in the truck for getting that replay. We'll see what the Indians do here now. Up by a touchdown in the 4th quarter, and they will just boot it away, and it's going to go over the head of Dunlap, and it's going to be a touchback. So St. Mary's offense, they've been moving the ball pretty calmly. They haven't really felt much pressure, but now we're into the 4th quarter, and they trail a touchdown. Paul, you got to think they want to move it with some urgency, at least here on this first drive of the 4th.
Well, again, they just need not hurt themselves. They've had 2 fumbles, one on a kick return, and then one when they were driving the ball looking pretty good. Other than that, they've had to punt the ball just twice. They've scored 2 touchdowns with their offense. They just have to trust themselves in their execution, and to them it doesn't matter if they do it in 1 play or if they take a 20-play drive. They just need to be able to continue to execute and don't put the ball on the ground.
It will be a run play, and again, it will be for short yardage, as St. Mary's, again, still has a lot of time to try to respond. They still have the option, if they don't end up getting a first down here, to punt it away and try to get a stop on defense, but they're thinking touchdown all the way on this drive for sure.
Yeah, and Adam Lewis on the interior made that play in initial contact. However, give credit to St. Mary's for kind of pushing that forward.
Another handoff. This one going a little bit outside for Schlosser, and he gained the first down.
And again, credit the Shawnee defense. For as much as you can, kept this Rough Rider rushing attack that averages 315 yards pretty much in check. We only have them down for about 121 yards rushing, which going in the 4th quarter is pretty remarkable. Check that.
As it's a handoff to Sean Perry. Tries to break a tackle, but he's going to be stopped at the 35-yard line. And the clock will continue to run as we have 10:50 to go in the 4th quarter of play.
And AJ corrected, we did have some technical error, so that that is not the correct rushing number.
As Clements under center once again. Hands it off. And it's Schlosser again. They've been going to him quite a bit here in this second half, as you're used to the normal trio of Fowler, Perry, and Dunlap, but Coach Fry spreading the wealth around a little bit here.
And again, last week he had 5 runners have over 70 yards. So, he's very willing to spread the wealth between those 5 guys in the backfield. And the Shawnee crowd kind of getting to their feet and imploring their defense to get a stop.
On 3rd and 5. It's going to be another reverse to Dunlap. And it looked like maybe he was thinking of throwing it. He had the option, but he's going to be stopped in the backfield. And that'll bring up a 4th down for the Roughriders, and they're going to punt it away.
It strung out really, really well. That was that double handoff that we saw them run in the 3rd quarter that gained about 8 yards. But that time, Peyton Wilson stayed home from his outside linebacker position and is able to make the play in the backfield on Braden Dunlap.
So the sophomore Fisher will punt it away as the St. Shawnee special teams on high alert for any possible fake. As it's a high punt. It's going to be fielded at the 35 on a fair catch from Grant Wheeler. Great hands to keep hold of it, and Shawnee's offense with Johnny Caprella back out on the field after just an amazing performance through those first 3 quarters, and then in 10 seconds into the 4th quarter he has that 40-yard run. I don't know what else you can ask out of that young man in Caprella.
Well, you can ask him to try to, kind of finish this game and win it. The Roughriders can't score if they don't have the ball. So really, if I'm the Indians, it's about moving the chains, and it doesn't have to be the 30-yard passes they were getting the first 2 weeks of the season. What they've done so far has been kind of grind it out, and it's been very successful for them.
Daniels will run it this time up to the 40-yard line. He's also been a huge factor in this offense with 2 touchdowns, a receiving and a rushing touchdown. But we talked about last week St. Mary's scoring 50 points. It's a different offense for sure. I mean, then again, it is a different team altogether. Shawnee and Van Wert, 2 different teams for sure.
It is, but St. Mary's has averaged 34 points a game. They're capable of scoring a lot. So again, you have to credit Shawnee, especially coming off a 21-point loss last week against the Redskins. They probably had to question themselves a little bit, but they have shown tremendous resilience against the St. Mary's team, who many of you would say could be the favorites in the Western Buckeye League.
As Daniels gets stopped for another short yardage run, and again, that just proves the point that people have been making ever since the season started, that no one knows what's going on in the Western Buckeye League right now. It seems like anybody can beat anybody on any given Friday, and that just makes for some fun football here in this part of Ohio.
There's a lot of fun scores out there right now, but most importantly, this is a huge 3rd down and 6. And you see number 14's been holding on to the ball and making plays with it lately.
Low snap, and Caprella's going to have to improvise here as he's brought down at the 25, but a flag coming in, and they may call that against Harris for the way he brought down Caprella.
Looks like it might be a horse collar call, and Caprella's still down, but maybe we'll see this better on replay. But if they do call a horse collar, that's when you put your hand basically inside the shoulder pads back by the neck area, and we can't really see it here. Now, yeah, that might be about the right call, but that's tough. But most important thing is it is a player safety issue, and Caprella does look like he is hurt.
Well, the replay giving us a pretty good view there, and as you said, Paul, right call by the officials, and that will give Shawnee another crack at trying to keep this momentum that they've already got going. With 8:02 to go in the 4th quarter and up by a touchdown, the Indians will now move the ball a little bit closer to the chains on this 3rd down.
And just a really tough call, or not tough call, but tough situation. The ball was bouncing back there, and you had what you thought was going to be the sack, but instead they get new life with the 15-yard penalty. However, it's not an automatic 1st down, as mentioned, so this is not a 1st and 10. This is instead a 3rd and 5.
Well, timeout taken by the Shawnee Indians as they look confused on what they wanted to do. Caprella not in there. They had Bean back in there once again. We'll take a break and be right back here on Game Face Ohio.
Hello?
Call dropped?
Hello?
No more minutes? Lost your phone? Don't worry, telephone service from TSC is always crystal clear, never runs out of minutes, never has a dead battery, and most importantly, in an emergency, it displays your address for 911. Plus, TSC keeps you connected with free calling in our expanded calling area. Ask about telephone service from TSC today.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
IC Signs designs, creates, and installs custom eye-catching signs. We use state-of-the-art technology to produce indoor and outdoor signs, LED message boards, and vehicle wraps. We can also help you with LED light conversion, sign refurbishing, custom t-shirts, promotional items, and your print needs. Whether you know what you want or have no idea, trust the experience of IC Signs. Call IC Signs at 419-738-6640.
Strength is about so much more than the body. It's about being together, serving, sharing, and caring for those around us. It's about keeping score in the heart rather than on a scoreboard. Be a part of a community that builds more than your body. At the Wapakoneta Family YMCA.
So we had a timeout in a little situation. Shawnee called a timeout in the hopes to get Johnny Caprella back in with the called timeout, but the official came in and said no, even with the timeout, he has to stay out one play. So we have Matt Bean in there to run this critical third down play at quarterback for Shawnee.
Last snap he was in, he just handed it off to Grant Wheeler. Daniels is next to him, but Bean's going to have to throw it as he rolls out, takes a shot, and way overthrows Wheeler. And Bean is on the ground too, but he's able to get up to his feet, and that's the disadvantage of not having Johnny Caprella out there for that 3rd down and 5.
No, yeah.
So it'll bring up a 4th and 5, and that means the Indians will have to punt it away, and St. Mary's able to keep them off the board and keep it a 1-touchdown ball game. As the Indians will have Caprella out there at least for this play to punt it away. Has a lot of time to do so, and it's a nice punt. Perry has to back up to the 20 to field it. Now he'll go forward. Breaking a tackle, trying to go up the near sideline, and he's brought down just short of the 35. That's where Clements and the offense will take over.
Yeah, Matt Bean just playing quarterback. He just put a heck of a lick on him as well. But, really, I'm impressed by the tackling tonight of the Shawnee Indians. It's been very sound.
So 7:36 for the Roughriders to try to answer this Shawnee offense as the last drive stalled. Clements coming quickly, hands it to Perry, trying to bounce it outside. Now he finds a hole. Breaking one tackle, breaking another, getting up to the 50-yard line, and a nice run for Sean Perry, and that's going to go a long way for the Roughriders if they're trying to get back in it with a touchdown here.
Yeah, and they've had some success at times going to the perimeter against this team. So that 15-yard run, as we can see there, running just an old-fashioned wing T sweep to the outside. Sean Perry.
Hand off to Fowler this time. Dives forward, down at the 45. Clock continues to run, 7:20 now.
But again, the clock isn't really that much of a factor right now. You just need to continue to move the ball. You're in Shawnee territory already.
Especially with 3 timeouts for the Roughriders. As here's another handoff up the middle. It's going to be enough for the 1st down, so that'll even stop the clock for a moment as the chains reset.
So you'll see the Roughriders, even though they're a running team, a lot of times they like to play up-tempo. As you can see, they're up to the line already, and they just whistled the play in just now.
Sean Perry again with the carry, and he's going to get out across the 35-yard line. as Coach Crier over there on the sideline for Shawnee trying to get his defense's attention. He's not happy with what he's seeing on this drive so far.
Well, he's imploring them to try to get a stop. As you can see, again, ball not signaled in, and the Rough Riders are already to the ball.
Another handoff. Fowler with it. He's met by a host of Indians, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 2, maybe 3.
The Rough Riders snapped the last 2 plays with 23 seconds left on the play clock. That's how quickly they're getting in and out of the huddle and snapping the football.
It is 3rd and 2. 4-down territory if you don't get it, Paul. Well, it doesn't matter. Schlosser running up the middle, and he gets the first down and then some, so he answered the question for me.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, the Rough Riders are in touchdown mode right now. If it came to that, yes, they would go for it, but right now they are attacking and getting out and trying to just run as many plays as quickly as they can against this Shawnee Indians defense.
Another handoff to Schlosser, and he's trying to get himself a score as he gets down to the 5-yard line. They've gone to him a lot here in this second half, as he gets a well-deserved break and Fowler checks back in for him.
Another 13-yard run for that young man.
Fowler's going to carry it, and he's going to get into the end zone. So the Rough Riders 1 point away from tying it up with 5:38 to go in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, a pretty impressive and efficient run-based drive there by the Rough Riders to potentially tie this football game. That's Shannon Fowler's 2nd touchdown rushing of the year.
So Vanderveer will come on to try and tie it up. Snap is low, and the kick just creeps in there. They avoided disaster as Vanderveer will stay perfect on PATs on the year and ties it up at 21 apiece. 5:38 to go in the 4th quarter. Back in just a bit on Game Face Ohio.
TSC can save you money.
How?
TSC can save you money with Emerge.
What's Emerge?
The Emerge bundle plan. TSC will merge your phone, cable TV, and internet in one nice, neat package to save you money.
How much money?
A boatload. The Emerge bundle plan, only from TSC.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler, with tools like person-to-person payments, pop money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community, with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Owen Kitchen and Bath Showroom has been family owned and operated since 1990. We can help you from start to finish with your entire project. Let one of our professional designers put the final touches on your project. Owen Kitchen and Bath now has 2 showrooms to better serve you in Wapakoneta and Lima. Owen Kitchen and Bath, cabinetry that will take your breath away at prices that won't.
Hello, Frost Roofing.
Frost Roofing holds the same core values our company was founded upon nearly 9 decades ago. We proudly provide quality craftsmanship and top-notch service to each client we serve. We're licensed by several major roofing manufacturers to give you the right recommendations at the best value for your investment. With state-of-the-art equipment, cutting-edge technology, and our honest way of doing business, Frost Roofing is our area's preferred commercial roofing experts. To learn more, visit frost-roofing.com or call 419-739-ROOF.
So Shannon Fowler ties things up on a 5-yard touchdown run, capping off an 8-play, 56-yard drive. And now it's the defense's turn for St. Mary's to handle things as Vanderveer will kick it away.
But again, Shawnee is very dangerous in the return game as well.
It's a nice kick. by Vanderveer, and it's going to bounce into the end zone, so don't even have to worry about that explosive return game.
No, the best case scenario for the Roughriders in that case. So we're going to take a look at this replay. Look at this hold. The ball was down low in potential disaster. The quarterback, Colin Clements, is able to rescue that ball, as we can see it from right here. Watch how low that is. And if he doesn't get that, it's a one-point game where Shawnee's still in the lead. But again, the little things that you take for granted in practice just came into play to keep that a tie football game.
Heck of a play there by Clements, as Caprella will hand it off once again. This one going for solid yardage, but tell you what, it seemed like Vanderveer, he was going through that motion no matter what, and the hold got down at the last second.
Oh, well, that's what you're coached to do. You know, when you're a kicker, you're all about timing and repetition. You just got to trust your teammates, trust the snap, trust the hold. You go through your mechanics. As soon as you stop it, you know, bad things will happen.
2nd down and 8. Johnny Caprella is going to drop back to pass. He's in trouble. Now he's going to use his legs once again. Harris can't get him down. And Caprella is going to have the first down out to the 35-yard line.
I tell you what, Caprella in the open field is a tough man to get down. He had one-on-one with Jackson Harris, who's one of the better tacklers on this team. In fact, he's the leading tackler on this team. And you can see just shakes and makes the move and evades him, and Giesecke chases him down and makes the tackle. But a big first down conversion for the Indians.
14-yard run for Caprella. He's going to hand it off to Wheeler, and he's going to pick up significant yardage, bringing up a 2nd and short.
Again, the Shawnee Indians been very, very good on the ground this game, which, again, they were negative yardage last week rushing the ball. And coming in, they ranked 10th in the Western Buckeye League, dead last, averaging only 72 yards a game. So, and they are near the 200-yard barrier this game.
2nd and 2. Caprella's going to keep it. Design QB draw, and he's going to have enough for the first down as the clock stops at 4:08. So St. Mary's defense needs to come up with a big stop here if they want to hold the Indians off the scoreboard and give their offense a chance to come back in this one.
And the Shawnee team, again, averages 30 points a game on offense. You know, they're capable of scoring.
Hand off to Daniels. Caprella doing a great job of misdirection, and Daniels doing a great job of scooting forward to the 45.
Yeah, running the zone read play, and it looked like it was well defended by the Roughriders, but a nice decision cutting the ball back by Javion Daniels to find some sort of yardage, and actually picks up a nice gain.
So 2nd and 3 for the offense. 3:30 now remaining. Another handoff, this time to Wheeler. He's got the first down. He's going to bounce to the outside. Room to run, and no one's going to catch him as Grant Wheeler has taken the lead with 3:18 to go in the 4th quarter for the Shawnee Indians.
And I tell you what, a big hero on that play, and he's being helped to the sidelines, number 74, Bobby Grosjean. That big fella was pulling all 280 of his pounds and able to spring Grant Wheeler. We can see him right there. Tremendous block. Grant Wheeler using his speed to get to the outside. And what an answer by the Shawnee Indians.
46-yard run for Mr. Wheeler as Voorhees will come on to try to make it 7-point lead for the Indians.
What a game. The Roughriders keep battling back to even, and Shawnee finds a way to answer.
Good snap, and the kick is going to be good as well. So it's 28-21, Shawnee on top, 3:18 left for St. Mary's to try and answer it. Stay tuned, we got a good one on our hands here in St. Mary's.
Where is that TSC bill? How can I pay it if I can't find it?
You don't need the bill. You can pay it online at telcirco.com.
Wasn't there a special this month?
Yes, we got it from TSC's Facebook page.
I know I've got the announcement for the club here somewhere.
I just sent it to TSC to air on Channel 2. With telcirco.com, Facebook, Channel 2, and their newsletter, TSC makes it easy to stay connected.
Now, if they could just help me clean up my desk.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Stars and Stripes Graphics is your local screen printer located just east of the St. Mary's Memorial High School. Visit our showroom for all things Rough Rider, including jackets, sweatshirts, hats, sweatpants, ball caps, and more. We also carry items for New Knoxville Rangers and select collegiate gear for Ohio State and Michigan. Stars and Stripes Graphics, your local screen printer.
Dr. Compton has been delivering quality chiropractic care for nearly 20 years. He's committed to helping you find relief as quick as possible so there's no lengthy care plans. At Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, most insurances are accepted and walk-ins are always welcome. Conveniently located in downtown St. Mary's across from Chase Bank. To learn more, visit us online at smpainrelief.com and follow us on social media.
It's the name that you want to remember. Neck and Back Pain Relief Center.
To 21, Shawnee on top thanks to Grant Wheeler and a 46-yard run that capped off a 6-play 80-yard drive, and there's 3:18 left for St. Mary's to try to answer it here in the fourth quarter.
And the commitment to the run by this Shawnee team really paying dividends, as two large running plays in this fourth quarter have given them a lead.
It's a nice kick from Voorhees. It's going to be fielded at the 10 by Dunlap. He's explosive, and he finds a hole, but he's wrapped up just before the 35-yard line, as he's going to set his offense up in some nice field position.
So again, there's 3:12 left, but high school football with the clock stopping for first downs and having 3 timeouts, the clock's not as big of a problem as you might think, especially how quickly the Rough Riders get in and out of the huddle. What they need to do is continue to just get positive plays, and as long as they avoid negative ones, they still have plenty of time to be able to go down the field.
Dunlap's going to run it here, and he's going to be stopped after about a gain of 4. And the clock will continue to run, but as you mentioned, 3 timeouts for St. Mary's. They're still looking to go quick, and there's an injured Indian on the ground. I believe that's Voorhees, the kicker, and the officials are going to have to stop time to take a look at him.
Yeah, Voorhees also the starting cornerback, and obviously player safety is the most important thing, but this will give a slight little help to the Rough Riders. That will stop the clock, but once again, the Rough Riders will get in and out of the huddles. We saw on that last drive, it was 2 seconds off the play clock, and they were snapping the ball again. So again, the clock won't be a big issue for them as long as they avoid that negative play.
Well, now Shawnee is going to ask a lot of their defense here, as they were barely ready, and now they just get lined up, and St. Mary's goes quick again. Fowler coming close to the first down marker. It's going to be close, but I think he's just a little bit short, so it'll be a 3rd down and short. But
although they're stopping the clock to maybe take a look at it, I think they're short. I agree, but they did stop the clock to take a look at it, and they're going to actually give a measurement.
Well, that, as you mentioned, stops the clock with 2:48 to take an even closer look, but.
But I tell you what, the Rough Riders, they already got their play called. They don't care if it's 3rd and 1 or 1st and 10. They're going to run their play, their next play, as quickly as possible, regardless.
Yeah, it is short. So they'll bring up a 3rd down for the Rough Riders. Well, we've seen them go to the passing game seldom in this game, and
I don't think this is one of those occasions.
I don't think so either, but they do have all 3 timeouts.
They are 2 for 2 passing. Only one by Colin Clements. The other one was a touchdown pass on the halfback pass. But this is more likely a quarterback sneak, if not, a quick handoff.
Clements surveying his offense. Snap, hands it off to Perry. He's going to bounce it around. He's going to have the first down and more as he stiff arms Daniels and gets down to the 45-yard line. That pumps up the St. Mary crowd.
I tell you what, that's actually a little bit of a trend breaker for the Roughriders. They are usually pretty predictable on those short yardage situations to run either a quarterback sneak or run between the tackles. By going to the outside, they actually broke that trend and found a lot of open space.
Another handoff. Fowler once again. Not much doing. Clock continues to run down to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. The offense moving fast. Backs coming in and out as quick as possible.
And you can see the Shawnee defensive front finally starting to show a little bit of fatigue.
This will be a handoff to Ty Schlosser, and he's going to be stopped short again. So it's going to be a 3rd down and about 6 for the St. Mary's offense.
But you can credit them. And, you know, if we watch the Shawnee defense, you got them, you know, kind of breathing hard, but they understand that this is the 4th quarter. This is what you condition for during those 2-a-days and all week long to be able to try to make stops like this.
It's 3rd and 5. Dunlap's going to throw. He's got Howell down the field, and he did not make the catch as it was just a little underthrown. Everybody on this side of the press box, especially the Shawnee faithful, held their breath on that one, Paul.
The exact same play that they scored the touchdown on earlier, running the halfback pass. Now it's 4th down. It looks like the Roughriders are going to pull out some more trickery with the lonesome polecat here. We can come back to live action. Got a lot of guys here to be able to cover, and there's going to be a timeout by the Shawnee Indians. As you can see, this guy will be eligible. Those guys will be eligible. Lots of options, and a very smart timeout there by Shawnee.
Minute 50 to go in the 4th quarter of play. This is the biggest play of the game by far, and Shawnee just didn't like what they saw when St. Mary's set up that offensive play.
Well, Coach Fry going to the bag of tricks there on 3rd down, running the same play that, again, they scored the touchdown on. They still had Howell open, but would have had to take the perfect pass, as there was some defensive catch-up there.
Well, the Minster Bank is offering a free community shred event on Saturday, which, if you're watching it on the night of this game, is tomorrow, September 16th, at their St. Mary's branch location. Prevent identity theft. Destroy up to 5 bags of confidential documents free of charge. Again, brought to you by the Minster Bank.
Okay, still going to run the same thing. Lonesome polecat. Again, lots of options, a lot of eligible receivers. These two are. The center's eligible. This guy's eligible.
It's going to be a throw, as Dunlap is going to try to use his legs to get the 1st down, and I think he got it, as everyone kind of just forgot about Braden Dunlap, and that's a huge play there by the junior.
What a 4th down conversion, as Dunlap, everyone was kind of covered, and very smartly just decided to do it himself.
Minute 38. Clock continues to run, and now St. Mary's is going to use one of those 3 timeouts they have remaining, as I don't think they were quite confident in that play call, but minute 36 to go, down by a touchdown. You got the ball at around the 32-yard line. They got it 31 actually on the scoreboard. And I tell you what, Paul, this is nerve-wracking if you're a St. Mary's fan, but this is the moment you live for if you're out there on the field.
It is, and I don't know in the truck if we can get a replay of that last play, but again, a potential season saver if the Roughriders somehow come on to win this game, picking up that 4th and about 6. Running the lonesome polecat, which again is a Coach Fry staple that you might not see for an entire season. Then he'll just pull it out right when he needs it, and it's been ultra successful for them with its various options.
So out of the timeout, 1st and 10. Colin Clements under center, hands it off to Perry. And Sean Perry's got the 1st down and more. He's actually going all the way for a touchdown. And St. Mary's, with 1:29 to go, will send out their field goal unit to tie this one up.
Both offenses saving their best for last. The 2nd touchdown of this quarter for the Roughriders, and they're an extra point away from tying this game up once again. But remember, the snap was low the last time. Colin Clements with a tremendous hold. We'll see if they can tie the ball game.
Vanderveer, perfect on the year from the PAT. Snap is good. Kick is up, and it is good. We are tied up at 28 apiece here in St. Mary's. Minute 29 to go. Back with more in this Week 4 matchup right here on Game Face Ohio.
Hello?
Call dropped?
Hello?
No more minutes? Lost your phone? Don't worry. Telephone service from TSC is always crystal clear. Never runs out of minutes. Never has a dead battery. And most importantly, in an emergency, it displays your address for 911. Plus, TSC keeps you connected with free calling in our expanded calling area. Ask about telephone service from TSC today.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
IC Signs designs, creates, and installs custom eye-catching signs. We use state-of-the-art technology to produce indoor and outdoor signs, LED message boards, and vehicle wraps. We can also help you with LED light conversion, sign refurbishing, custom t-shirts, promotional items, and your print needs. Whether you know what you want or have no idea, trust the experience of IC Signs. Call IC Signs at 419-738-6640.
Strength is about so much more than the body. It's about being together, serving, sharing, and caring for those around us. It's about keeping score in the heart rather than on a scoreboard. Be a part of a community that builds more than your body. At the Wapakoneta Family YMCA.
Sean Perry, a 41-yard run, capping off an 8-play, 68-yard drive with 1:29 to go in the fourth quarter, and Paul, it couldn't have come at a bigger time for the Roughriders.
Yeah, and obviously the big key play was that 4th and 6 conversion out of that lonesome polecat, which hopefully maybe we'll get a look at after this kickoff.
Vanderveer will kick it off once again. Nice kick. It's going to go over the head of Wheeler and into the end zone.
And here we go to the replay once again. And he's back there, and you got one guy there that's responsible for him. He makes him miss, and then makes another guy miss, and that's just enough for the first down. So when you're doing that, there's a guy that you are responsible for, and then the very next play, Sean Perry makes the Shawnee Indians pay by taking it to the house.
Back and forth here in this second half.
Now here I would be somewhat careful. If you would have got a good return, I'd be more aggressive, but you know, this is exactly what I would do.
And Wheeler picks up a nice amount of yardage there, but it's still not enough for the first down.
Yep, I would run the ball here. If you happen to get a big one, that's fine, but you know, you don't want to do something silly here on their side of the field.
And flags will fly for a false start against the Indians, so now that's going to even back them off a little bit more. So they may just try to run out the clock here and go to overtime, as you were talking about.
Well, they
Paul.
need to get a first down.
They do.
You know, with the Roughriders having 2 timeouts, if they get a 3 and out, they're calling timeout. They're going to bad things will happen. Shawnee needs to get a first down.
That was a 31-yard touchdown.
So now after the penalty, it's a 2nd down and 8 for the Indians.
An empty backfield here for Shawnee.
Caprella is going to drop back. He's going to roll out, in trouble. Now he's going to take off. Lots of room to run for Johnny Caprella, and he stays on his feet up to the 40-yard line, where he'll be knocked out of bounds with 52 seconds.
Still big conversion. I would be the same thing. I would not put the ball up in the air quite yet. You still have a couple timeouts. Check that back. You have one timeout out that 19-yard run and scramble, as you can see. But you've been pretty successful putting the ball on the ground, running the ball on the ground. I would kind of stay with that.
Well, the field goal unit has been warming up a bit over here on the sideline for Shawnee, but they haven't attempted a field goal yet this year.
Well, Shawnee has 278 yards rushing. I mean, they've been very successful with the ground game.
It's a screen play to Wheeler, and it falls incomplete. But that one could have been dangerous if it was on target.
Well, it was a screen pass, but it was a 25-yard pass. He was going back so far.
So 48 seconds now to go for the Indians on 2nd down and 10.
You know, if they do throw the ball again, they were pretty successful with that little screen to Daniels out of the backfield.
The atmosphere starting to get wild here at Skip Bachman Stadium. Everyone on their feet as the Indians try to convert here. On 2nd down, Caprella's going to run once again. He's going to have the first down. He got tripped up on his own, and he's out across to the 45, and the clock will stop with 39 seconds.
It'll stop temporarily, though, as they get the ball set, because he was not able to get out of bounds. But they're going to get it on the line, go no huddle.
They're trying to get there quickly.
Clock is moving now.
They're going to just try to run a play, it looks like, as Caprella is going to roll out. Now the other way. Breaks a tackle. Flag thrown in the backfield as Caprella continues to run close to the first down, as this penalty marker could be going against the Indians.
And Coach Create upset about that call. So that's going to nullify, and you can see Caprella being helped up as he's one tired young man.
Yeah, Coach Gray not a happy camper now on the sideline. You see him at the bottom of your screen there as he has taken the hat off and thrown it to the ground.
And again, this is a spot foul, so if it's back in the backfield, it's not just a 10-yard penalty. It's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
So 28 all, 23 seconds to go for this Shawnee offense, and 26 yards to go for the first down.
And then this might change your approach a little bit again.
Caprella in the shotgun once again. High snap, but he keeps a hold of it. Looking for another screen, and it's Wheeler. Connects it to him. He's got room to run. Here he comes across the 30. Got one man to beat. Puts on the stiff arm and is dropped out at the 10-yard line with 7 seconds to go.
The same play that they ran just a little bit ago that didn't time up very well. This time it took Cam Agler to be able to make a touchdown saving tackle. There is a flag on the play.
The flag is back at the 45-yard line. And it's against Shawnee for an illegal man downfield.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, the linemen were downfield. It matters where Wheeler caught the ball at. If he was past the line of scrimmage, that would 100% be the right call. But obviously, that is a game-changing call. That would be the second time that we would have seen a legal man downfield called. We'll see the play here. So the line of scrimmage right there, about the 39-yard line. We'll see where Wheeler catches this ball at as we keep running it. He catches the ball. Yeah, he catches the ball at the 41-yard line. So that is a forward pass. And there you see definitely a host of linemen in front. You know, sometimes they give them a little bit of leeway, but you know, by the letter, that is definitely the correct call.
Two big flags going against the Indians on this drive. 7 seconds to go. And it's going to be 1st and 31 now. We'll just say a lot as whistles blow. I think the snap was a little premature to the official's whistle. Well, now the official's talking it over. I think they'll just redo the play. But with 7 seconds to go, I don't know if it's going to matter because this could just be a Hail Mary shot for the Indians or...
Yeah, and unofficially, we have Shawnee down with 10 penalties, and especially that last one was a killer.
Caprella will drop back to pass. who's looking to go deep. He's got Wheeler down the middle of the field, and he's going to be tackled with no time left on the clock. And the St. Mary's faithful up on their feet, as guess what? We're going to overtime here in St. Mary's for the first time this year, tied up at 28 apiece right here on Game Face Ohio.
TSC can save you money. How? TSC can save you money with Emerge.
What's Emerge?
The Emerge bundle plan. TSC will merge your phone, cable TV, and internet into one nice, neat package to save you money.
How much money?
A boatload. The Emerge bundle plan, only from TSC.
TSC. Give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Call TSC.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler, with tools like person-to-person payments, pop money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community, with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Owen Kitchen and Bath Showroom has been family owned and operated since 1990. We can help you from start to finish with your entire project. Let one of our professional designers put the final touches on your project. Owen Kitchen and Bath now has 2 showrooms to better serve you in Wapakoneta and Lima. Owen Kitchen and Bath, cabinetry that will take your breath away at prices that won't.
Hello, Frost Roofing.
Frost Roofing holds the same core values our company was founded upon nearly 9 decades ago. We proudly provide quality craftsmanship and top-notch service to each client we serve. We're licensed by several major roofing manufacturers to give you the right recommendations at the best value for your investment. With state-of-the-art equipment, cutting-edge technology, and our honest way of doing business, Frost Roofing is our area's preferred commercial roofing experts. To learn more, visit frost-roofing.com or call 419-739-ROOF.
Well, 4 quarters weren't enough as we're heading to overtime here in St. Mary's, 28-28 between the Shawnee Indians and the St. Mary's Roughriders. And Paul, I tell you what, week 4, it's just gone back and forth, and it's been a good one so far.
Yeah, and we go to overtime here at Botman Stadium. So here are the rules if you're not familiar with overtime in high school football. We're going to have a coin toss here pretty soon, and they're going to have the decision whether you want to play offense or defense. Usually teams like to play defense first, so because they're guaranteed to get the ball, and they know what they have to do if they go on defense first. There's no game clock. There's just the play clock, and you start the ball on the 20-yard line versus the 25, what it is in college football. There will be additional overtime periods, and there will be a winner. There are no ties in high school football anymore.
Thank goodness for that. We are going to get that coin toss here in just a moment. And I tell you what, Paul, you look at that Shawnee offense and that entire sideline right now, and it's like the whole mentality of what they've been able to do has just changed here in these past few minutes.
Yeah, and we see, we'll talk about that in a second, as we have right here the coin toss, and that's Grant Wheeler and Drew Jacobs out there for the captains, as the official explaining the rules to them. Looks like Shawnee, looks like St. Mary's, I think, won the toss. Well, at least, St. Mary's has the ball first, it looks like. So, anyway, to get back to kind of the mentality of Shawnee, who seemed to have, some bad luck with some calls going against them there towards the end. What you have to do, you have to put that out of your mind. You have a position to win the football game right now. You're in overtime. You need to score, and you need to get a stop, and you can still win the football game irregardless of what happened before. So, too many times, people get hung up on something that went against them. They can use that as an excuse or a crutch. Instead, you need to play in the moment. Okay, right now, both teams are on equal footing, and we're going to get a winner.
So as you saw from the rules, the ball spotted at the 20-yard line. No running game clock, as the first handoff will go to Fowler, and he's going to be stopped after a gain of only 2 or 3, setting up a second down.
And expect the Roughriders, who have scored on their last 2 offensive possessions, to just continue to try to pound that football.
As Clements will hand it off to Dunlap. He'll bounce it outside, has good blocking ahead of him, makes a lunge for the end zone after being brought down. Is he short or is he in? He's short, down just short.
But still, what an effort to get down right by the goal line. And that will be a 1st and goal for the Roughriders.
So a great start to this first possession on offense for St. Mary's as they find themselves down at the 1-yard line. You take a look at the replay there. Great effort by Dunlap to keep the legs turning. And he's got his offense knocking on the doorstep. Handoff. Schlosser, he's in for the touchdown, and St. Mary's answers first on the first possession of overtime.
And they made it look pretty easy right there. I should mention that this is the 10th overtime game in Rough Rider history. Their first one since playing Elida in 2014, where they did win that game 47-46. They are 5-4 all time in overtime games.
Vandeveer's kick is on its way, and it is good. 35-28. St. Mary's answers first, and Shawnee's got a chance as they bring their offense out onto the field. And Paul, what a big way to start off your first offensive possession. Now all the pressure on the Indians.
It is, but that's why you want to go second. You know what you have to do now. That allows you to make decisions such as on 4th down, you're going for it. You know you're not ever going to settle for a field goal. You have to score. So that then is kind of the advantage of going second. And then if you do score, you have the decision, do you want to go ahead and kick it for the tie or go for 2 and the potential win?
So a defensive stop for the Rough Riders will win it. As Shawnee will start with the handoff to Wheeler, and he's going to be stopped just shy of the 15.
And Wheeler's been really good on the ground for the Indians so far.
I know they don't have this, but if they had high school fantasy, he'd be a good pickup off the waiver wire. 2nd and 7 for the offense. That's Caprella dropping back. He goes to Daniels on a screenplay, but it didn't set up much as the defense had that one snuffed out from the beginning.
Yeah, that's the same play they scored the very first touchdown on, and you have to credit Blake Knorr. He's given up a few tenths of a second, we'll say, in the 40 going after Daniels right there, but he's able to make the play and out of bounds. So this does bring up a 3rd and 6, but remember, this is 4-down territory because they know they have to score a touchdown.
Caprella will keep it himself, has a hole, dancing around. He's going to be knocked down, and I think he's got to, I think he's going to be maybe just short. Let's see where the spot is, but the official signaling forward.
The thing about starting the ball at the 20, you don't even have to measure. If it's not touching the line, it's not a 1st down. So that in there is the benefit of going in overtime. You don't even really need the chains.
So it will be 4th down. Big play here. If Shawnee doesn't get it, it's the ball game, and St. Mary's will have their 3rd straight Western Buckeye League win of the year.
When they are going spread, I thought they might go in that full house backfield that they show on short yards from time to time.
Caprella keeps it himself. He's got the 1st down up to the 5-yard line, keeping this one alive for his team like he's been doing all night long.
And Coach Crier, he knows what he's doing. A perfect play call, keeping the ball in number 14's hands. Didn't just get the 1st down, he got them inside the 5-yard line.
Just a great all-around athlete, Johnny Caprella, as you see from the replay. Has now a fresh set of downs and only 5 yards to go to try to answer the Rough Riders.
And again, we can't stress this enough. Shawnee had the reputation of just a passing team the first 3 weeks, having almost all the success on the ground this game.
Caprella gets into the end zone, and now a big decision for the Indians here as Coach Crier has to weigh his options. Do they go for two? Do they kick the field goal?
They're going for two.
They're going for two.
So this is going to be the ball game, one way or the other. Shawnee rolling the dice, going for the win. We saw OG do this against the Roughriders 2 weeks ago, and they were unsuccessful. We'll see if the Shawnee Indians can get it done.
As the Shawnee Indians are just going for broke right here on this play, looking for an upset in week 4.
And you got to think that number 14 is going to have the ball in his hands, making a decision.
And a timeout is going to be taken. And it's going to be the Shawnee Indians that want to talk it over. I mean, second time we've seen this covering St. Mary's, a team going for two, as you mentioned, Paul, the OG game, but that wasn't in overtime, and really there was still more time for OG to try to redeem themselves if they didn't get it. This is all or nothing.
You're right,
this
is all or nothing. So this is the ultimate vote of confidence in your offense, saying we believe you in one play to win the football game for us.
Well,
and obviously on the other side, the defense, they're looking at this as the opportunity, hey, you guys can win this game for us. And, you know, if I'm Nick Yale over there as defensive coordinator, you find 14, I think he's going to keep the ball, and you tackle him and don't let him get 3 yards and 2 points.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody here pretty much knows who it's going to. So does Shawnee try some misdirection, maybe go to someone else? I don't know. Johnny Caprella's been stellar all night.
We're going to see St. Mary's definitely going to come with the blitz here.
Ford will come in motion, and Caprella's going to try to keep him himself, and he's going to be stopped short. And the St. Mary's Roughriders come up big on the 2-point conversion and win it here in week 4. But boy, hats off to both of these programs. One heck of a game here tonight at Skip Bachman Stadium.
An instant classic, and it's a shame someone had to lose this one because both teams battled so hard. And obviously we'll get a replay to see how close that actually was. We saw them kind of fake the jet sweep, which we have not seen that look the entire evening. And I guess we'll get that at the post-game show, but still, the St. Mary's Roughriders are going to stay undefeated in WBL play and stay at the top, and Shawnee with a heartbreaking loss.
Roughriders win it in overtime, 35-34 over the Shawnee Indians. We'll be back to talk about this one in just a few here on Game Face Ohio.
Where is that TSC bill? How can I pay it if I can't find it?
You don't need the bill. You can pay it online at telcirco.com.
Wasn't there a special this month?
Yes, we got it from TSC's Facebook page.
I know I've got the announcement for the club here somewhere.
I just sent it to TSC to air on Channel 2. With telcirco.com, Facebook, Channel 2, and their newsletter, TSC makes it easy to stay connected.
Now, if they could just help me clean up my desk.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Stars and Stripes Graphics is your local screen printer located just east of the St. Mary's Memorial High School. Visit our showroom for all things Rough Rider, including jackets, sweatshirts, hats, sweatpants, ball caps, and more. We also carry items for New Knoxville Rangers and select collegiate gear for Ohio State and Michigan. Stars and Stripes Graphics, your local screen printer.
Dr. Compton has been delivering quality chiropractic care for nearly 20 years. He's committed to helping you find relief as quick as possible so there's no lengthy care plans. At Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, most insurances are accepted and walk-ins are always welcome. Conveniently located in downtown St. Mary's across from Chase Bank. To learn more, visit us online at smpainrelief.com and follow us on social media.
It's the name that you want to remember. Neck and Back Pain Relief Center.
Well, it took overtime, but the St. Mary's Roughriders come up victorious in their Week 4 matchup against the Shawnee Indians, 35-34. An exciting one from start to finish. Let's look at our scoring summary and buckle up because it's a dandy as it got started in the first quarter at the 4:22 mark, thanks to Javion Daniels on a 9-yard reception, capping off 10 plays, 56-yard drive as he dove in for the score. Then St. Mary's was able to answer the call on a Colin Clements QB keeper with 1:28 to go in the first quarter. Shawnee right back at him with Javion Daniels this time running the ball for 4 yards. Then St. Mary's comes back with a trick play. Dunlap connects to Ty Howe on the reception. Then Shawnee answering with the leg of their quarterback 10 seconds into the fourth quarter. Johnny Caprella, 40 yards to take the lead. St. Mary's comes down, scores it on a nice run play. Then you've got the Indians here with Grant Wheeler on a 46-yard run, Paul.
And Grant Wheeler over 100 yards along with Johnny Caprella over 100 yards.
And here's the fourth down attempt by Dunlap before the final St. Mary's touchdown in regulation to keep the drive alive. And then in overtime, the Roughriders score first with, then it was the 31-yard run by Sean Perry. Then in overtime, the Roughriders score first with Ty Schlosser on the 1-yard run. Johnny Caprella again gets into the end zone in overtime. And on the 2-point conversion, this time the defense stands tall and stops him at the goal line.
And you see how close that was. And you had Jackson Harris, Brandon Dunlap, and Knorr all gathering in there to make that stop, literally a foot away from the goal line.
35-34, St. Mary's takes it. Let's take a look at our Merit Real Estate professionals. Take it to the house play.
Yeah, we're going to go with Johnny Caprella's big-time run on fourth down, to start the fourth quarter, which seemed like a long time ago, but a tremendous play as Caprella had about 160 yards running and 120 yards passing. Just a tremendous effort by that young man. And again, the Shawnee team, just represent themselves very, very well. And it's a crushing loss, but they're going to be okay if they can continue to play like this for the remaining weeks of the WBL season.
Shawnee Indians, they'll be at home next week to face the Van Wert Cougars, who picked up a win here in Week 4 against OG. St. Mary's, long trip for them ahead as they go to Kenton next week. Paul, final thoughts to wrap this one up?
No, this was an instant classic. Two tremendous efforts by both teams. The Roughriders survived to be able to stay atop the Western Buckeye League, and as you mentioned, they still have their hands full next week against a scrappy Kenton team.
Well, that'll do it for us here in St. Mary's. We'll be in Walpock next week, back to Harmon Field as the Elida Bulldogs come to town. Thanks to everyone in the truck, all our camera operators, AJ on stats, of course, Paul Sadler. This is Eli Alvarez saying thanks for watching Game Face Ohio.